Chronicles of the Rise of a Cultivation Family. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 276, Fire Snake Technique. A month later, Yun Yongzhu was sprinkling spirit stone powder on the Thunder Eagle egg in the incubation room of the cave, thinking that his 30th birthday would be in a few days. He lamented that time flies, and it has been so long since he came to this magical world of cultivation. At this moment, the Thunder Eagle egg shook slightly, pulling Yun Yongzhu out of his memories. He put his hand on the thick eggshell and felt a consciousness that was very close to him. Yun Yongzhu couldn't help but show his joy. The Thunder Eagle egg finally moved. He thought it was like a dead thing until it hatched. This consciousness was very weak. It only contacted Yun Yongzhu for a few minutes before it became silent, as if it was tired and fell asleep. He stroked the Thunder Eagle egg a few more times and came out of the incubation room. Then Yun Yongzhu went into the small house next to it and looked at the situation of the soul-devouring golden cicada. It was still motionless in the jade box, as if it was going to sleep for 10 or 8 years. Now there are only the soul-devouring golden cicadas I imagine and the unhatched Thunder Eagle eggs in the bamboo garden. Yun Yongzhu released the soul-seeking butterfly Wuke out of the cave, letting it find food on its own and get familiar with the huge Yunwu mountain. Anyway, Yun Yongzhu has already explained the soul-seeking butterfly to Yun Shicheng and others, and the soul-seeking butterfly is not an aggressive spiritual butterfly, and its speed is very fast, so ordinary key training cultivators can't find it at all. After Yun Yongzhu came out of the hut, he went to the Kinksin bamboo pavilion in the yard and sat down. The first thing was to take out a first level spiritual medicine and start to test the soul locking technique. Yun Yongzhu planned to stop testing after testing this spiritual medicine today. After many experiments, he found that the soul locking technique can only play a significant role in spiritual medicines with lower grades and younger years, such as purple ginseng. If it is replaced with a first level low grade spiritual medicine with a year of 3 to 5 years, it can only improve the medicinal properties of the spiritual medicine a little bit at most, and it can't be found if you don't look carefully. Especially for most of the first grade high quality spiritual medicines, the effect of this spiritual art is even more negligible. Maybe this spiritual art is mainly for vegetables containing spiritual energy, and this spiritual medicine is still different from spiritual vegetables. But even so, the effect on Yun Yongzhu's alchemy is already like adding wings to a tiger. Because he used this locking soul art to assist him in refining 2 furnaces of elixirs 10 days ago. One furnace was the gathering spirit pill and the other furnace was the wood flame pill. Before he opened the furnace, he used the locking soul art on all the more precious dozen first grade spiritual medicine materials in these 2 sets of elixirs. As a result, the success rate of refining these 2 furnaces of elixirs did not increase significantly, but the quality of the finished pills was greatly improved. The gathering spirit pill produced 2 pills, one of low quality and one of high quality. You must know that before this, Yun Yongzhu's probability of refining a high quality gathering spirit pill was very low. He opened the furnace nearly 80 times and only refined one high quality gathering spirit pill. This high quality gathering spirit pill was the second time. The progress of the wood flame pill was even more amazing. This was only the 3rd batch of wood flame pills that Yun Yongzhu had refined, and he had successfully refined a top grade wood flame pill. The remaining 2 were also mid grade wood flame pills, which was a huge improvement. The emergence of 2 top grade pills also gave him a big surprise. Unfortunately, he had only taken a low grade wood flame pill more than a month ago, and it would take almost 2 months before he could take it again. Yun Yongzhu thought, if the soul gathering pill and wood flame pill he refined were both of perfect grade, then he wouldn't have to wait for the time for the poison in the pill to be eliminated, and he could improve his cultivation faster. If his idea was known to other cultivators, they would probably laugh at his wild imagination. Even if he took low grade pills to increase his cultivation, it would already make others envious. You have to know that ordinary foundation building cultivators who can take low grade soul gathering pills to practice are already considered wealthy and not easy. Most of the foundation building cultivators usually have to practice hard on their own. Only when they have accumulated enough spiritual stones will they be willing to buy themselves a pill to improve their cultivation. Unlike Yun Yongzhu, there is still room for selection. This is also the respect and envy of alchemists. Even if it is only a first level foundation building alchemist, he can rely on his own alchemy skills to obtain enough spiritual pills for cultivation. Other weapon refiners, talisman makers, array masters, etc. are much less capable of making money than alchemists. After all, pills are a shortcut for cultivators to directly improve their cultivation. Yun Yongzhu walked out of the Kingston bamboo pavilion and stopped 3 feet away from the huge stubborn stone beside the pavilion. Then he began to pinch his hands and muttered something. Between his flying fingers, a strong fire attribute spiritual power gathered towards Yun Yongzhu from all directions. After about 8 or 9 breaths, Yun Yongzhu finally finished the seal in his hand. He shouted, "Fire snake technique. Show." At the same time, he threw the seal he had just made into the air. A huge fire snake more than 3 feet thick instantly appeared above the bamboo garden. The fire snake slithered and coiled above, and from time to time it spit out a long crimson core from its mouth. The fire snake swam majestically above the bamboo garden, waiting for Yun Yongzhu's command. Yun Yongzhu's divine consciousness could completely control it, but supporting the fire snake consumed a lot of divine consciousness. With Yun Yongzhu's excellent divine consciousness, he could only barely support it for less than half a quarter of an hour. If he commanded it to attack the enemy, the consumption would be even greater, and he was afraid that he could only hold on for 100 or 80 breaths. His mind moved, and he saw the fire snake in the air quickly descending, whistling towards the huge stubborn stone not far away, like a swimming dragon, with extraordinary momentum. Unfortunately, the thunder was loud, but the rain was small. The fire snake hit the stone and disappeared instantly, leaving only a hole the size of a broad bean on the stone. Yun Yongzhu took a closer look, and couldn't help showing his joy. This time, he succeeded in performing the fire snake technique at once, and this fire snake technique was more powerful than before, which was really a cause for celebration. This fire snake technique was a second level spiritual technique that Yun Yongzhu obtained from his master Huang Chengsheng, along with the air control technique, flame shield. Every tree and grass sees enemies and golden gang cover. At that time, because he had the top grade spiritual weapon red feather fan given by his master as a means of attack, and the top grade spiritual weapon heavenly silkworm armor for defense, he only practiced the air control technique for the first step. During this period, he was always busy, so he didn't have time to practice the other 4 spiritual techniques, but he still took time out every day to comprehend them. In more than 9 months, compared with flame shield, every tree and grass sees enemies and golden shield, the progress of fire snake art is undoubtedly faster. Fire snake art was successfully performed half a month ago, but the success rate, performance time, power and so on need to be improved. It may be because he practiced the fire attribute technique, so fire snake art entered the entry level earlier. As for flame shield, it was just because it took less time than fire snake art. Compared with defense, Yun Yongzhu still prefers offense. Yun Yongzhu touched the huge stubborn stone in front of him and sighed at its strength. It's a pity that this stubborn stone can't be used to refine into a magic weapon. It's really a waste of natural resources. As he said, he returned to the Kingston bamboo pavilion, sat cross-legged on the stool, closed his eyes to restore his spiritual power, and then began to perform fire snake art again. Repeatedly, until dusk, Yun Yongzhu stopped. After the two had dinner, Yun Yongzhu drank a pot of wine tea and went into the practice room. Chapter 277 Happy Events. 4 days later, it was the first day of April in day 98,024. Yun Yongzhu was urged by Yun Yongzhu to go to the cave of Yun's father and mother in the morning. "Brother, hurry up. Why are you in such a hurry? It's still early." Yun Yongzhu took out a thick book of alchemy experience and planned to read it for half an hour before setting off. "Today is your 30th birthday, brother. My parents have repeatedly told me that I must go there early today because they have something important to tell us." Yun Yongzhu had just finished speaking when Yun Yongzhu felt that the restrictions of the cave were touched. He stopped a paper crane that sent a message. He was moved. Could it be that his mother sent a message to urge him? Sure enough, not long after, a paper crane flew towards him quickly. It was his mother's voice. Zua, Bear, when are you going to come over? Juana and the other 3 are back and are waiting for you to come to Xingshan Mansion quickly. I have good news for you. Look, I didn't lie. Did my parents really tell me to come over early and tell us about the good news today? Yun Yongzhu couldn't help but feel a little confused. Besides his birthday, what other good news was there today? Since his mother had sent a communication talisman to urge him, Yun Yongzhu had to put the book in his hand into the storage bag. Second brother, wait for me first. After Yun Yongzhu said that, he hurried to the incubator. He sprinkled the 5-element spirit stone powder on the Thunder Eagle eggs, and then flew north with Yun Yongzhu. The cave of Yun's father and mother was not far from his cave. They chose a place with lush spirit trees to build a large mansion. I don't know what other important things are going to happen today besides your birthday, big brother. Mother is always keeping us in suspense. We'll know when we get there. With Yun Yongzhu leading them, the 2 arrived outside the cave of Yun's father and mother in the time it took to talk. It took only a breath of time for the restrictions of Xingshan Mansion to open, and they closed instantly after the 2 entered. Dad, Mom, big brother and I are coming in. Before entering Liaoshan residence, Yun Yongzhu was shouting all the way. His voice alarmed the servants in the cave, and everyone bowed to Yun Yongzhu and the 2. The 2 just nodded slightly and ignored him, and went straight to Liaoshan residence. Bear, how old are you? How can you be so loud? Yun Yongzhu was gently reprimanded by his father Yun Daichan, as soon as he stepped into the gate of Liaoshan residence. Yun Yongzhu scratched the back of his head. He just hadn't seen his parents for a few days, and today was his big brother's birthday. He smiled foolishly and fooled around. But what happened to Dad today? He seems to be a little angry. Shouldn't we celebrate the birthday of the eldest brother today? Yun Yongzhu and Yun Yongzhu looked at each other. Both of them were a little confused. They couldn't help but slow down their pace and move lightly. Brother Chen, what are you doing? Why are you so fierce? Bear. From a distance, they heard the scolding voice of their mother Yang Lia. Turning a corner, Yun's father, Yun's mother, Yun Yongzhu, Yun Yongzhu, and Yun Yongkang came into view. Big brother. Second brother. Come here quickly. Dad and Mom said they have good news to tell us, and they have to wait until you come to tell us. Yes, I'm so curious. Dad and Mom, the eldest brother and the others are here. You guys come quickly. Even Yun Yongzhu couldn't wait, wanting to know what good news it was that made Dad and Mom so hungry. Yun Daichan and Yang Lia smiled at each other. Lia, you will tell these boys the good news. Yun Yongzhu looked at the smile on Yun Daichan's face that couldn't be concealed, and couldn't help feeling a little familiar. Before he could recall, when he saw this smile, he heard Yang Lia drop a bomb. I wanted to tell you later, but since you all want to know quickly, I'll tell you. Ahem, I'm pregnant. Yun Yongzhu, Yun Yongzhu and Yun Yongzhu were immediately surprised. The twins asked Yang Lia in unison, Mom, what do you have? Their questions made everyone laugh. The twins looked at their parents and brothers with confused eyes, not knowing what was so funny about their questions. Yun Yongzhu shook his head, walked to the 2 of them, and gave each of them a chestnut. You 2 idiots, have you become stupid from practicing? Mom means that we are all going to be brothers. The twins were stunned for a moment, then instantly thawed, and became very excited. Haha, I'm going to be a brother. Ah, I'm going to be a brother. Yun Yongzhu was also very happy. He didn't expect that he was already 30 years old and still had the opportunity to be a brother. The physique of this immortal cultivator really can't be underestimated. The twins' cheers infected Yun Yongzhu, who jumped 3 feet high and was also very excited. Big brother, second brother, we have a little sister. His words immediately excited everyone except Yang Lia, and they all had expressions of approval. This was also a worry for their family. Yang Lia was the only female in the family. Yang Lia didn't know what expression to show when she heard it. She didn't know what was going on. She gave birth to 4 children in a row, all boys, and even the one Yun Yongzhu brought back was a boy. I hope it will be as you wish. In the end, she could only say this. In fact, she was the only female cultivator in the family, and she also hoped to give birth to a girl. However, giving birth to a boy or a girl was not what she cared about most. She mainly hoped that the child would have spiritual roots. In this way, their family could be together without having to endure the pain of separation, and she would not have to endure the pain of sending off the young. Mom, today is my birthday, and I like this birthday gift very much. I want to make a wish that the one in your belly is my sister. After hearing this, everyone was very happy. Brother said so this must be the younger sister. Yes, whatever brother says is right. Brother said it's the younger sister, so it must be the younger sister. Yun Yongzhu and the twins always regarded Yun Yongzhu's words as the golden rule. Okay, today is your brother's birthday. You must respect your brother and thank him for doing so much for you. Brother, come, I respect you. I hope you can go further and further on the path. Brother, I wish you to be more and more advanced in cultivation. Brother, I also respect you. I wish you a long life. The family of 7 was particularly happy to learn that Yang Liu was pregnant. As the birthday boy, Yun Yongzhu was even happier. He hadn't celebrated his birthday with his family for a long time. He looked at the dishes on the table. It seemed that his parents had specially looked for Zana, the spiritual chef. Yun Yongzhu took a bite of the billing rice and couldn't help but think of his childhood. That was before he had his spiritual roots tested, and only on his birthday could he eat this level of middle grade spiritual rice. On weekdays, he would just mix a little spiritual rice with ordinary rice. Mom, this billing rice tastes as good as when we were kids. Yang Liu was very happy to hear that. Her eldest son was only 10 years old when he left her. She remembered that, before he was 10, Yun Yongzhu's favorite thing to eat was this billing rice. If it tastes good, eat more. I'll have enough for you today. Haha, Dad, you're really generous today. Everyone laughed and made a lot of noise, and the meal took more than an hour. After the meal, it was still early, so Yun Yongzhu and others did not leave immediately. They gathered in the courtyard and talked about their experiences in cultivation, alchemy, and talisman making. Speaking of their family of 7, except for the twins who did not have cultivation skills, everyone else had a skill. Yun Yongzhu, needless to say, is now considered a second level lower grade alchemist, and his alchemy skills are still improving. Yun Dachan is now first class middle grade alchemist, with a success rate of more than 70% and a success rate of about 30%. To be precise, Yun Dachan can successfully make 7 out of 10 furnaces of key gathering pills, and each furnace produces 3 to 5 pills. However, middle grade pills are rare, and generally only 1 or 2 pills appear for every 2 furnaces. Yun Yongzhu started practicing relatively late, and the time he has been exposed to alchemy is not longer than the time he has practiced. He is still only a first class low grade alchemist. However, Yun Yongzhu's success rate is not bad, with a success rate of 30% for the Bigu pill and a success rate of 20% for the key gathering pill. From this, it can be seen that Yun Yongzhu's talent for alchemy is higher than Yun Dachan. Yun Yongzhu and Yang Liu are both talisman makers. Yun Yongzhu inherited Yang Liu's talent and has now begun to glimpse the way of a first-class upper-grade talisman maker. The speed of making talismans is not slow, and the success rate is also good. Last month, more than 1/6 of the first-level water attribute talismans shipped to Kangshao by the clan were drawn by the 2 of them. When Yun Daifeng returns from Kangshao, the 2 will have a large amount of spirit stones in their account. Aina, Kanja, look, this is the result of not studying your skills well. Okay, mother, with us brothers here, they won't be short of cultivation resources. Yes, the 4th and 5th brothers are not much short of earning spirit stones now. Yun Yongzhu and Yun Yongzhu tried to smooth things over. Yang Liu just said it casually. Today is the 30th birthday of her eldest son, and she won't hold the 2 younger ones to account. You are all brothers now. You have to set an example for your younger sisters, you know. Well, we will work hard to practice and catch up with the 2nd brother. Yun Yongzhu was innocently caught in the crossfire, but he looked around at the few people. Among all the people, he was the only one who was most likely to be caught up. There is no need to mention Yun's father, Yun's mother, and Yun Yongzhu, who are now all foundation building masters. Although the 3rd brother Yun Yongzhu started practicing late, he is now 1 level lower than himself, only at the 4th level of key training. But looking at his speed of practice, I'm afraid that his qualifications are not just 3 spiritual roots. You two little brats are only at the 3rd level of key training now. If you want to catch up with me, the second brother, you can only take more drugs, and they must be perfect level pills made by the eldest brother. Speaking of this, Yun Yongzhu thought of the 4 perfect level key gathering pills he had refined in recent years. He couldn't help but imagine that he didn't know when he would be able to refine perfect level dueling pills and muon pills. The family was lively and talked about practice methods, spells, pills, talismans, and even business. It was not until the sun set that Yun Yongzhu and the other 5 left the cave of Yun's father and mother. The next days passed peacefully until 20 days later, when good news came from the Immortal Fate Festival in the clan. It was said that a member of the Yun family with 3 spiritual roots was detected in the family's Yunlong Lake territory. The Immortal Fate Festival is not only held in Yunwu Mountain. In fact, only the Yun clan members who are over 6 years old in Yunwu town at the foot of the mountain will be taken to the mountain to test their spiritual root qualifications. The other 5 clan territories are far or near from the clan mountain gate. In order to be fair, the mission hall will release the tasks of the Immortal Fate Festival before the Immortal Fate Festival. There are 6 tasks in total, all of which are to test the spiritual root qualifications of children of appropriate age in the family. Yunwu Mountain is at the foot of the mountain, so it is natural to go directly to the mountain for testing. This time, only a child with mixed spiritual root qualifications was detected in the Mountain Gate Ancestral Hall. Originally, Yun Shichen was a little disappointed, but after receiving the news from Yunlong Lake, he immediately smiled with wrinkles on his face. He also specially shared this news with Yun Yongzhu, and his joy was beyond words. After receiving the news, Yun Yongzhu was naturally very happy. Being in a family of immortal cultivation, there is nothing more joyful and happy than having successors. As long as there are more children with true spiritual roots in the family, prosperity is just around the corner. As the family develops, the hope of the clan members to advance and build a foundation will become greater and greater. In a cycle, the entire family will become stronger and stronger. See you tomorrow. Chapter 278 Preparing the Pill. The day after the Yun family fairy festival in Yunwu Mountain, Yun Yongzhu received a communication talisman from the 5th elder Yun Shifen, asking him if he had decided on the elixir to be auctioned. Yun Yongzhu had already thought about this in the past 3 months. A month later, the auction held by the 5 major families in Yun's house should have many cultivators participating. This is a good opportunity for him to become famous, and Yun Yongzhu certainly won't let it go. He took out a communication talisman and told Yun Shifen the names of the elixirs he wanted to refine one by one. 5th Grandpa, this auction, I plan to refine 4 kinds of elixirs: Key Gathering Pill, Key Recovery Pill, Spirit Gathering Pill, and Beixiang Beauty Pill. In Yun Yongzhu's opinion, the cultivators came from afar to gather in the main city of Yunzhou. No matter what their purpose was, their essence should be to improve their cultivation. Therefore, there is no more suitable elixir than Key Gathering Pill and Spirit Gathering Pill. After all, these 2 kinds of elixirs can be taken by more than 99% of the cultivators. The role of Huki pills for cultivators is also very important. At least when fighting, when the spiritual power is exhausted, taking it can turn the tide and change the fate of defeat or even death. It's not that Yun Yongzhu doesn't want to refine Huling pills, but firstly, he is not completely sure that he can refine it. Secondly, he only has 4 copies of the main materials for refining Huling pills. Even if he refines them, he will keep them for his own use or give them to close people. As for Beixiang Beauty Pills, Yun Yongzhu prepared them specifically for female cultivators. He knows that most female cultivators have always been pursuing beauty. The reason why he was able to think of this pill formula is that he personally witnessed the power of this pill. At the auction in Xianyuan City, one of the items was a bottle of first grade top grade Yulu Beauty Pill. Its starting price was as high as 1000 spirit stones, and the transaction price was even more amazing, which really surprised Yun Yongzhu. Afterwards, he deliberately went to learn about this Yulu Beauty Pill, which is actually an ordinary first grade beauty pill. The Jade Dew Beauty Pill at the auction was at most a top grade beauty pill, but the alchemist added other materials to change the original appearance and color of the beauty pill, and changed its name. Moreover, the common elixirs on the market, such as Bingji Yulu Pill, Chiangxiang Yulu Pill, Kibao Beauty Pill, etc., were actually developed based on the beauty pill. Just like the Jade Dew Beauty Pill, it changed its appearance and name, and it seemed more valuable than the beauty pill, and the materials used in the refining were more precious. The monks may not be unaware of the doorway in this, but they can't stand these men and women who love beauty, so they just fall for it. This also gave Yun Yongzhu a lot of inspiration, so he gritted his teeth and exchanged 800 sect points for the recipe of the beauty pill. After more than a year of research, although Yun Yongzhu has not yet started to refine it, he is already fully confident that he can refine this Beixiang beauty pill. The reason why Yun Yongzhu used this name is that he also developed a brand awareness. Although he was only a teenager before his rebirth and had never done business, he had seen that the same piece of clothing would become more valuable with a famous brand name. For example, in the sect, as long as you hear that the elixir is made by Huang Chengsheng, a 3rd level top grade alchemist, or the magic weapon is made by Qinming, a 3rd level middle grade weapon refiner, it will be particularly popular and the price will be higher. This is actually the brand effect. Yun Yongzhu wants to make his own signboard. The first step is to let people know his name. The next step is to accumulate time and rely on word of mouth, so that people will remember that he is an excellent alchemist when they mention him. In this way, the value of the elixir he refines will gradually increase. Therefore, for these elixirs, except for the Jiling Pill, Yun Yongzhu plans to use all the top grade elixirs for auction, and the middle grade and low grade elixirs are placed in the family's elixir shop for slow sale. For this reason, during this period, Yun Yongzhu also studied the method of making anti-counterfeiting marks on the elixirs he refined, which is also the unique logo and decorative pattern of his elixir. This was thanks to his deep understanding of the medicinal properties of spiritual medicines. He could add a kind of anti-counterfeiting potion he developed before the pill was condensed, and it would not affect the efficacy of the pill. This potion is actually just a liquid medicine of a common Chinese medicine called Wan Ling Ko mixed with a little silver leaf grass liquid. As Yun Yongzhu's understanding of spiritual medicines became more and more profound, he began to realize that most spiritual plants and spiritual medicines were absorbed by ordinary medicinal materials in the mortal world. After thousands of years of evolution, they gradually became spiritual medicines in the eyes of immortal cultivators. So he began to contact Chinese medicinal herbs in the mortal world, and then he discovered the wonderful use of Wan Ling Ko. About half an hour after Yun Yongzhu sent the letter to Yun Shifen, a clan member in the key training period came up the mountain. Ninth brother, your cave is really full of spiritual energy, and it is also beautiful. The person who came was Yun Yongzhu, Yun Yongzhu's clan brother. Fifth brother, please take a seat. How did you find time to come here? No, I have a mission this time. Fifth grandfather sent me here. I asked you to write a list of the materials needed for the elixir, and the clan will come to buy it. Okay, I'll write it now. You sit down and wait for a while. After saying that, Yun Yongzhu ignored Yun Yongzhu and took out a piece of first grade lower grade green heart jade. He used his spiritual sense to record the materials and quantities needed to refine the key gathering pill, key recovery pill, spirit gathering pill and Beixiang beauty pill. Yun Yongzhu was very envious when he watched from the side. He was only at the 5th level of key training now. He did not have the spiritual sense of the foundation building period, so he could only watch the jade slips and could not record them himself. He sighed. With his current cultivation, he was also thanks to the support of his parents. Otherwise, he had no skills to make money. How could he cultivate to this level with his own ability? Yun Yongzhu didn't let him wait any longer. It took him less than half an hour to record all the spiritual medicine materials he needed to refine the pill. Fifth brother, this is for you. Yun Yongzhu took the green jade slip that Yun Yongzhu handed to him, then said goodbye and left in a hurry. Yun Shifen was very efficient. Early the next morning, he prepared all the materials for refining the 10 key gathering pills, 5 key recovery pills, 16 spirit gathering pills, and 10 Beixiang beauty pills that Yun Yongzhu needed. The person who delivered the materials was still Yun Yongzhu. Ninth brother, the materials have been delivered to you. Fifth grandfather has instructed that, if you need spiritual medicine materials, just tell him. As long as a communication talisman is sent, he will send someone to prepare them. Okay, I know. Thank you fifth brother. You're welcome. Go and get busy. I won't bother you anymore. After watching Yun Yongzhu leave, Yun Yongzhu picked up the first grade storage bag containing spiritual medicine materials, and entered the alchemy room. The next step is to refine the elixir, which will not come out until all the materials are refined. Yun Yongzhu first refined the Kijudan. This elixir is the one he is most familiar with, and it has the highest success rate and quality. Yun Yongzhu took out a batch of Kijudan materials, and sorted them out, then performed the soul locking technique on the main medicines, the green blood grass and the purple ginseng. Then he took out the purple gold elixir furnace, and started to preheat it, and then skillfully put the better quality green blood grass and purple ginseng, as well as the yellow dragon grass, the spiritual aconite and other spiritual medicine materials into it one by one. After the elixir was broken twice, Yun Yongzhu put a 9 turns melting pill technique into the purple gold elixir furnace. About half a breath, he dripped a drop of the Wanling Kaolanti counterfeiting potion he had already prepared into the elixir furnace. At this time, the liquid in the elixir furnace was under the influence of the 9 turns melting pill technique, and the medicinal properties were fully integrated. Yun Yongzhu separated a wisp of consciousness and suspended the drop of Wanling Kaolanti counterfeiting potion that had just entered the purple gold elixir furnace above the Kijudan liquid. When Yun Yongzhu felt that the medicinal properties of the liquid medicine had been fully integrated, he poured the 9 turns pill condensation art that he had just pinched into the furnace. At the same time, Yun Yongzhu's consciousness carefully manipulated the small drop of Wanling Kao water to drip onto the surface of the liquid medicine that was about to condense into pills. Seeing the 9 groups of liquid medicine components in the furnace forming, Yun Yongzhu took the opportunity to pour the last 9 turns pill collection art into it. Then the lid of the purple gold furnace rose into the air, and 9 pills flew into the empty white jade bottle prepared by Yun Yongzhu at high speed. Yun Yongzhu did not rush to plug the bottle stopper. He poured one into his palm, and sure enough, a golden auspicious cloud mark pattern appeared on the surface of the pill. It might be the first time that Yun Yongzhu used the Wanling Kao liquid, so the auspicious cloud looked a little fat, but it was still recognizable as a common decorative pattern of the Yun family. He checked all the pills and collected them back into the jade bottle with satisfaction. There was a clearly visible cloud pattern on the surface of each key gathering pill. What delighted him was that, with the help of the soul locking technique, 7 of the 9 third level key gathering pills refined this time were of top quality, and the remaining 2 were all of medium quality. A top quality key gathering pill was sold for at least 15 spiritual stones, while a medium quality key gathering pill was only around 10 spiritual stones. Yun Yongzhu's original success rate for top quality key gathering pills was only 40% to 50%, which meant 3 or 4 pills. Just by adding the soul locking technique and applying it to 2 medicinal materials, Yun Yongzhu created dozens of spiritual stones of profit. He had to cite the value of the second level spiritual art of the soul locking technique. However, this spiritual art would only have such great value in the hands of alchemists and spiritual chefs. Other cultivators would only gain 1 or 2 spiritual stones at most after using this spiritual art once. With the experience of the first time, the cloud patterns on the pills that Yun Yongzhu refined next were much more beautiful. It only takes him about an hour to refine a furnace of key gathering pills. Yun Yongzhu spent 9.5 hours to refine all the 10 ingredients. He did not stop to count the key gathering pills, but stuffed a top grade key recovery pill into his mouth and began to refine the key recovery pill while recovering his spiritual power. There were only 5 ingredients for the key recovery pill, and Yun Yongzhu consumed them all in 6 hours. After refining the key gathering pills and key recovery pills, only the spirit gathering pill and the Beixiang beauty pill were left to be refined. Yun Yongzhu was a little tired from opening the furnace one after another, so he did not rush to refine the remaining 2 kinds of pills. He took out the key gathering pills and key recovery pills he had refined before, and counted them one by one. He found that there were only 56 top grade key gathering pills and 28 top grade key recovery pills. So he left the alchemy room and sent a communication talisman to his fifth grandfather Yun Shifan, indicating that he still needed 10 parts of the key gathering pill materials and 5 parts of the key recovery pill materials. According to Yun Yongzhu's prediction, the auction of the 5 major families in Yunzhou will definitely attract more than half of the cultivators in Yunzhou. In this way, there must be 20,000 to 30,000 people gathered in the main city of Yunzhou. Scarcity makes things valuable, so Yun Yongzhu only plans to auction 10 bottles of top grade key gathering pills, 5 bottles of top grade key restoring pills, 2 bottles of top grade beauty pills, and 1 bottle of low grade spirit gathering pill. In this way, his reputation will be widely spread through this auction, and cultivators will come to ask for pills. It was already the morning of the next day. After Yun Yongzhu sent the communication talisman, he went to sleep to relieve his fatigue. He didn't come out of the dormitory until the evening. Brother, I heard that you will also go to the Yunzhou auction this time. Yes, what's the matter? Yun Yongbei looked at Yun Yongzhu with hope. Brother, can you take me with you when you go? Yun Yongzhu raised his eyebrows. The second brother wanted to watch the fun. It's not impossible, but you can't go alone. Although Yun Yongbei is already 24 years old, he has never been far away. Yun Yongzhu also wants to let him see and broaden his horizons. Big brother, I'll listen to you. I will never go alone. Yun Yongbei promised solemnly. Okay, then I'll take you with me, but don't let Juana, Aina, and Kanja know. If they know, you can't go. Yun Yongzhu can still take care of one person, but not 3 or 4. After talking to Yun Yongbei, Yun Yongzhu went to the practice room to practice his skills. There is no rush for the elixir, and there is enough time for him to refine it slowly. Next, he refined the elixir during the day and practiced the skills at night. After 16 days, he refined all the elixirs he was going to auction. He sent them to his 5th grandfather Yun Shifan that day. 5th grandfather, these are the pills that I have refined. The 18 bottles on the right are the pills to be auctioned, including 10 bottles of key gathering pills, 5 bottles of key recovery pills, 2 bottles of Baixiang beauty pills, all of which are top grade pills, and 1 bottle of low grade gelling pill. The pills on the left are extra. There are 28 key gathering pills left, 15 of medium grade, and 13 of low grade. There are 13 key recovery pills left, 7 of medium grade, and 6 of low grade. There are 9 Baixiang beauty pills left, 4 of medium grade, and 5 of low grade. These pills can be exchanged for the clan members to take, or they can be sold in the family shop. As for the gelling pills, there are 8 here, 2 of low grade, and 6 of medium grade. You can give them to the 2 great grandfathers and my parents. There is also a top grade gelling pill, which Yun Yongzhu kept for himself. As the elder who manages the financial accounts of the Yun family, Yun Shifan certainly knew the true cultivation level of Yun's father and mother. After all, the monthly allowance of the clan members in the foundation building stage is not small. Thank you for your hard work, Zhao Jiu. After the auction of these pills, half of the spiritual stones will be given to you, and the rest will belong to the clan. What do you think? Yun Yongzhu certainly had no objection. After all, it took him nearly 20 days to refine these pills. He would not feel very happy if he did not charge any fees, and he would not feel good if he charged too much. Half and half is the best. 5th grandfather, besides me, who else will go to Yunzhou city with you? The clan leader said that the situation is special this year, and Uncle 9 and Uncle 25th will go to Yunzhou together. There are actually 5 foundation building cultivators in the family now. Even if Yun Zuxan, and Yun Yongzhu, the 3 foundation building masters on the surface, all leave the family, Yun Shichen does not feel much crisis. I have other items to prepare. When they are all ready, I will hand them over to Uncle Jiu and the others. They will call you when we set out. I see. Then 5th grandpa, I'll go back first. Go ahead. I've kept you for so long. No, 5th grandpa, you're too polite. Yun Yongzhu said a few polite words and returned to the mountain. He went to the cave of Yun's father and mother to ask if they needed any supplies. Dad and mom, do you two need anything I can help you bring? The two thought for a moment. There was nothing urgent. The main reason was that they were all foundation building cultivators now. It only took 3 or 4 hours to go to the main city of Yunzhou and back. It was very convenient. In addition, there were still many soul gathering pills that Yun Yongzhu had refined for them before. Yun Yongzhu only chatted with his parents for a few words and returned to the cave, quietly waiting for the day of departure. Chapter 279 Yunzhou City. 11 days later, Yun Yongzhu received a message from Yun Zuxun, asking him to gather outside the mountain gate at 12 o'clock the next day and set off for Yunzhou City together. Yun Yongzhu told Yun Yongbei the news, and he immediately ate 5 large bowls of spiritual rice in excitement. The next day, Yun Yongzhu really took Yun Yongbei to the gate of Yunwu Mountain to meet the 2 great-grandfathers. Meet the 9th great-grandfather and the 25th great-grandfather. Greetings to the 9th great-grandfather and the 25th great-grandfather. As soon as the 2 brothers saw Yun Zuxun and Yun Zuxun, they hurried over to pay their respects. Xiaojiu, why did you bring 13 here too? Before Yun Yongzhu could reply, Yun Yongbei immediately walked to Yun Zuxun and the others. 2 great-grandfathers, I'm going to Yunzhou City to broaden my horizons, so please let me follow you? Yun Yongbei clasped his hands together and bowed, his face full of pleading and a little coquettish, fearing that he would be driven back by the two. The two looked at each other, and Yun Zuxun nodded slightly. You can go, Xiaojiu. You must take good care of this kid, and don't let him run around. Yunzhou City is a mixed bag at this time. There are countless cultivators in the late stage of key training, and there are at least 20 to 30 cultivators in the foundation building stage. Yun Yongzhu nodded quickly, to show that he knew. I know, I will definitely take good care of Baya. Yun Yongbei was naturally happy when he heard it. Okay, let's not delay, let's set off now. As he said that, Yun Zuxun took out his flying spiritual weapon, the black-sailed boat, and the 4 of them got on one after another. Yun Yongbei was amazed in the black-sailed boat, praising the speed and stability of the spiritual weapon. The 4 of them had just boarded the boat for an incense stick of time when they saw the sky suddenly covered with dark clouds, strong winds, and then a torrential rain fell. On the deck, the 4 people watched this scene through the protective shield, and they all showed joy. Brother, great, it's raining heavily. It's finally raining. I heard from Changer that the rivers in the secular world have dried up, and the lakes are drying up. He planned to arrange some people to guard the family territory in a few days and help the family members survive the drought. Now it seems that it is no longer necessary. Yes, if we send people down the mountain, many clansmen will be needed to go down the mountain to make rain. By then, the clan members' cultivation and the family's income will be greatly affected. I hope there will be more rains to eliminate this drought. The rain was heavy and widespread. It didn't stop until half an hour later. An hour and a half later, Yunzhou City was in sight. Brother, look, is that city Yunzhou City? Are we almost there? Yun Yongbei jumped up and down, a little lively as a child. In Yun Yongzhu's heart, this is what his brother should be like in his memory. After leaving the family for 12 years, Yun Yongbei returned to Yunwu Mountain again. He was already 16 years old. He found that his younger brother had become much more restrained and always pretended to be mature and steady in front of him. Now he was 24 years old and he looked even less like a child. Yes, this is Yunzhou City. If you practice hard and reach the late stage of key training, you can come here by yourself. Yun Zuxun controlled the black-sailed boat to descend from the sky, and Yunzhou City was closer. Wow, what a magnificent city. It's much bigger than our Yunwu town. There are so many people. Seeing him so excited, Yun Zuxun and the others were also infected. Yunzhou City is the main city of our Yunzhou. Of course it is magnificent. These people below are all here for the Qingshan sect's Ascension Conference, so of course there are many people. Yun Yongzhu observed for a while, but found that the number of people did not seem to be as many as when he participated in the Ascension Conference 20 years ago. I think it was affected by the drought. But even so, the long dragon outside Yunzhou City could not be counted clearly. Chapter 280 Nonsense. While the 4 were talking, the black-sailed boat sailed into Yunzhou City, entered the Yunzhou City market, and hovered over the magic weapon shop of his family. The 4 people came out of the spirit boat one after another. Yun Shilin, who was waiting in the shop, saw the 4 people landed at the door of the shop and hurried out to greet Yun Zuxan and the others. Uncle 9, Uncle 25, you came so early this year. Hello, Grandpa 12. Hello, Grandpa 12. The 2 brothers Yun Yongzhu also greeted Yun Shilin. After the 2 sides exchanged greetings, Yun Shilin led them into the backyard of the shop. Sitting down at the stone table in the yard one after another, Yun Shilin talked about the auction. Uncle 9, Uncle 25, you should have heard from the clan leader that the venue of this auction will be set at Wanbao Pavilion in the future, and the time will be changed to once every 10 years. Wanbao Pavilion will also provide some spiritual objects to participate in the auction. Yunwu Mountain has a total clan history of only more than 260 years, and has only participated in the Yunzhou auction for 180 years, which means that there have only been 9 times. Therefore, when it comes to the decisions of the auction, Yunwu Mountain usually just agrees. For example, if it were in the past, they would just inform them of the matter of Wanbao Pavilion joining the auction of the 5 major families. But this time, Yunwu Mountain's opinions were also sought. It must be said that Yun Yongzhu played a very important role. Well, we all know all this. Have you been to Wanbao Pavilion? There are still 5 days before the auction begins. I wonder if the venue has been arranged now? Yun Zuxan nodded and asked about the arrangement of the venue. Uncle 9, Uncle 25, I've already checked it out. It's basically arranged and can accommodate tens of thousands of cultivators. Don't worry, this is the first time that Wanbao Pavilion and the 5 major families in Yunzhou have cooperated to hold an auction, and they will definitely arrange the venue. That's good, but we have a rough idea of the items auctioned by the other 4 major families. I wonder what treasures the Wanbao Pavilion will auction. As for the treasures they auction, it seems that there are magic weapons, formations, talismans, and spirit beasts. As expected of a sect, it almost encompassed all the auctioned spiritual items of the 5 foundation building families in Yunzhou in one go. With the name of Wanbao Pavilion, this auction should not be negatively affected by the drought in Yunzhou, right? Definitely not. It's not even time for the auction yet, and many unfamiliar cultivators have already entered Yunzhou city, even some foundation building masters. That's good. The more people there are, the better business will be. 12. Tell us more about the Qingshan Sect Immortal Fate Conference. Yes. Only 4 immortal envoys came to this Immortal Fate Conference. They just arrived in Yunzhou city yesterday. The Immortal Fate Conference officially started this morning. It is expected to take 4 or 5 days. The leader is still a cultivator from the Nangang family, and she is also a female cultivator. The Nangang family is thoughtful. They will arrange for their people to come to Yunzhou for every Immortal Fate Conference. Yes, it is because of their family's deterrence that our Yunwu Mountain has been able to be peaceful for so many years. Yun Yongzhu suddenly realized that it was because of this that the other foundation building families in Yunzhou did not unite to hinder the development and growth of the Yun family. We will visit this fellow Daoist Nangang tomorrow. Xiaojiu, you will go with us. Okay. Yun Yongzhu was a little curious. He didn't know which member of the Nangang family he was, and why he had never seen him in Qingshan sect. After a while of communication, everyone went to rest in the guest room arranged by Yun Shilin. Chapter 281 Nangang Yingyu. The next morning, Yun Zuxan and Yun Yongzhu came to call Yun Yongzhu to visit the monk of the Nangang family at the city lord's mansion. Yun Yongzhu told Yun Yongbei to stay in the shop, and the 3 of them set out to visit the city lord's mansion. 2 great-grandfathers, are we going there empty-handed? Of course not. The Nangang family will send clansmen to the Ascension Conference every 20 years to send signals to other families in Yunzhou and support our Yunwu Mountain. Of course, we have to return the favor. This time we prepared a set of medium-grade flying sword magic tools. Although the grade is a bit low, Nangang Daoyao can't use it himself, but it is also a rare weapon for other Nangang family members to use. Yun Yongzhu thought about it and said, why don't I add another gift? My grandson has some low-level spiritual fruits in his hand, which is perfect for gifts. That's good. As they talked, the 3 of them successfully entered the city lord's mansion and waited quietly in a reception room. I'm sorry to have waited for you, fellow Daoists Yun. Before the person showed up, a clear and pleasant voice came from outside the reception room. The three of them turned their heads towards the door at the same time, and saw a peerless beauty who looked less than 20 years old suddenly appeared in their sight. Yun Yongzhu was amazed, and he didn't expect that there was such a beautiful person in the world. I'm Nangang Yingyu, and I'm honored to meet you, fellow Daoists Yun. Nangang Yingyu bowed, and looked at Yun Yongzhu. I guess this fellow Daoist is junior brother Yun Yongzhu from Milo Peak. Yun Yongzhu was awakened from the beauty when he heard Nangang Yingyu's question, and the look she gave him. His face was a little embarrassed, but then it returned to normal, and he bowed slightly to Nangang Yingyu. Sister Nangang is polite. I'm Yun Yongzhu. Yun Yongzhu could see that Nangang Yingyu's cultivation was deeper than his. Although they were both in the early stage of foundation building, she probably built her foundation much earlier than him, and it seemed that she was also older than him. Yun Zuxun and Yun Zuxun were also shocked by Nangang Yingyu's appearance. At this time, they came to their senses and hurriedly returned the greeting. Dao Nangang is polite. I lost my composure. Nangang Yingyu covered her mouth and laughed. She had long been accustomed to the reactions of others when they saw her for the first time. For example, Yun Zuxun and the other two, it was already good. Moreover, there was no blasphemous intention in their eyes, but pure appreciation. Nothing. Please take a seat. The three Yun Daoists. Then Yun Zuxun and Yun Yongzhu took out the gift boxes one after another. It was a set of medium-grade flying sword magic tools and 10 first-grade low-grade spiritual fruits that had been agreed upon before. After placing the gifts on the table, several people started to exchange pleasantries. Yun Zuxun and the other two thanked the Nangang family for their assistance to Yunwu Mountain over the years. There is no need to be like this, my two fellow Daoists Yun. This is all the intention of our ancestors. Besides, the two families are too far away from each other. Over the years, our Nangang family has not actually helped Yunwu Mountain in any way. We only have an aim to scare people. Fellow Daoist Nangang, what you said is wrong. Not to mention that the elixir for Yun's foundation building was obtained smoothly by Zenran Nangang. Even Xiaojiu's entry into the sect was also thanks to the help of fellow Daoist Nangang Li, who was able to enter Qingshan sect as an inner disciple. Fellow Daoist Yun, you are too polite. I have heard from my second uncle that it was because junior brother Yun himself has extraordinary talent. It is precisely because of this that junior brother Yun was able to become a disciple of Uncle Huang. Yun Yongzhu already knew that the reason he was able to become an inner disciple smoothly was because of his own extraordinary cultivation, but it was mainly due to the help of Nangang Li. Although the family had paid Nangang Li at that time, the favor should still be remembered. If he had not become an inner sect disciple, how could he have had time to practice alchemy, let alone the opportunity to worship at Milo Peak? Sister Nangang, please keep this gift. It is not a very valuable thing. I'm also a member of the sect now. How could I not know the help that brother Nangang gave me back then? Nangang Yingyu declined for a while, and seeing that Yun Yongzhu and the other two were sincere, she also kept the set of medium-grade magic flying swords and 10 jade boxes containing spiritual fruits. I don't know which spiritual peak Sister Nangang is practicing in. Why haven't I seen you at Huangyu Peak? Nangang Yingyu couldn't help laughing after hearing this. Brother Yun, what are you asking? Does my second uncle live at Huangyu Peak? So should I be at Huangyu Peak? I live at Miran Peak. Yun Yongzhu showed a look of sudden realization. So that's the case. No wonder he had been to Huangyu Peak several times, but didn't see Nangang Yingyu. That's right. The beauty should live in Beauty Peak. Yun Yongzhu joked. Yun Zuxun and Yun Zuxun looked at Yun Yongzhu and Nangang Yingyu meaningfully. They had long felt that Nangang Yingyu's appearance was a bit strange, because in all these years, no female cultivator from the Nangang family had ever come to Yunzhou, let alone such a beautiful female cultivator. Now looking at Yun Yongzhu and Nangang Yingyu, the two handsome men and beautiful women, they were a perfect match, and they finally reacted. The two looked at each other and guessed what the Nangang family was up to. Xiaojiu, this is the first time that Nangang Daoist has come to Yunzhou. Why don't you take her for a walk? Yes, Nangang Daoist, why don't you go with Xiaojiu to the market and see if there are any rare things? Yun Yongzhu felt a little confused when he heard the suggestions of the two great-grandfathers. This was not explained in advance before. Didn't they say it was just a visit? Although he himself was not very familiar with Yongzhou City, he was still very happy to take a beautiful woman out for a walk. Yun Yongzhu then looked at Nangang Yingaihu with an inquiring look. Nangang Yingaihu was not as slow as Yun Yongzhu, and she roughly guessed the meaning of the clan's arrangement for her to come to Yongzhou, which was to want her to form a Taoist couple with this fourth disciple of Biomio Peak. After meeting Yun Yongzhu, her initial impression was not bad. As her second uncle said, he was a handsome cultivator. However, junior brother Yun, I'm really sorry. The Ascension Conference has just started today. Although I don't have to organize it myself, I still have to go and take a look from time to time and supervise it. Let's have a good look after the conference, right? Since the beauty had no time, Yun Yongzhu had no choice but to nod. In that case, we will go back first and not disturb you from doing your sect mission. Oh, by the way, 4 days later, the 5 major families in Yongzhou will hold an auction. The Wanbei Pavilion of the sect will also participate in it. Although there are no good things, you can go and see the excitement. Senior Sister Nangang. Yun Yongzhu said goodbye and suddenly remembered the auction, so he wanted to invite Nangang Yingaiu to go with him. Okay, I will definitely go to see the excitement and experience the Yongzhou auction that day. After getting a satisfactory answer, Yun Yongzhu followed the two elders out of the city lord's mansion and returned to the family shop together. Chapter 282, Yun Zuxan's past. On the way back to the shop, Yun Zuxan and the others asked about gossip. Xiaojiu, what do you think of this Daoist Nangang? Yun Yongzhu looked at the two great-grandfathers in confusion, not knowing why they were asking about her. He answered without hesitation, Senior Sister Nangang is the most beautiful of all the female cultivators I have ever seen. His most profound impression of Nangang Yingaiu was her appearance. Apart from that, he had no other feelings about her. After all, he had only seen her briefly. Yun Yongzhu looked at the strange expressions on Yun Zuxan and Yun Zuxan's faces, and finally understood what they meant. Grandfather 9, Grandfather 25, what are you thinking about? Who is Senior Sister Nangang? The Nangang family is a Jindan family. How could they look down on me? Yun Zuxan said disapprovingly, how can Xiaojiu look down on yourself so much? You are not only a disciple of Yunwu Mountain, but also a direct disciple of Master Huang of Qingshan sect. Yun Zuxan also said, in addition to these identities, you are also a rare second-level lower-grade alchemist. Yun Yongzhu knew all this, of course, but he knew very well that his master did not like to participate in factional struggles between sects. If he and the children of the Nangang family formed a Taoist couple, it would definitely bring endless troubles to himself and his master. Of course, the most important thing is that Yun Yongzhu does not only look at appearance when choosing his partner. Although Nangang Yingaiu is very beautiful, he does not fall in love at first sight. As long as a cultivator embarks on the path of cultivation, whether male or female, he will not be ugly, and even if he originally looks ugly, he will gradually improve after cultivation. Xiaojiu, you are a man. If you have the intention, you should be more proactive. Otherwise, do you still expect the girl to pursue you? Although Yun Yongzhu wanted to find a partner, he was not very anxious. This matter was originally based on fate. On the contrary, the 9th and 25th great-grandfathers had not yet solved their lifelong affairs, and they were still ashamed to pretend to be seniors in front of him. Why don't the two great-grandfathers find a Taoist partner now? Yun Yongzhu had just finished speaking when he saw the 25th great-grandfather Yun Zuxan secretly winking at him. Xiaojiu, don't mention this issue in front of brother Jiu. He couldn't help but feel confused, not knowing what the taboo was. However, Yun Yongzhu was smart not to bring it up. Seeing that the 9th great-grandfather Yun Zuxan's expression suddenly became gloomy, he changed the subject and talked about the Yongzhou auction. Two great-grandfathers, we don't know what items will appear in this auction. What treasures can there be? They are just spiritual objects sold by various families. We only have these things in Yongzhou. If we really need any treasures, we have to go to Wanbei Pavilion and Bixu Pavilion. So this time there should be many foundation building cultivators present, which is also worth looking forward to. Yun Yongzhu and Yun Yongzhu sang in unison, and finally Yun Yongzhu's expression cheered up, no longer showing the depressed look just now. Yun Yongzhu couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. He had never seen the 9th great-grandfather show such an expression in front of him. Thinking of the question he asked before, could it be that the 9th great-grandfather had experienced some emotional trauma? Yun Yongzhu was thinking about it in his heart, and suddenly heard the brief words of the 25th great-grandfather. 9th brother originally had a favorite female cultivator, and they were about to hold a bond ceremony, but an accident occurred during a monster hunting, and the monster killed him. After the death of the female cultivator, 9th brother never came into contact with other female cultivators again, and focused on building his foundation, thus becoming the pillar of the family. Yun Yongzhu suddenly realized. He never thought that his 9th great-grandfather was such a loyal person. Chapter 283, San Xiu Square. By the time he arrived at the family shop, Yun Yongzhu had already learned a general idea about his 9th great-grandfather Yun Yongzhu. The female cultivator was originally the legitimate daughter of the Wen family of Wenyuan Valley, a subsidiary family of Yunwu Mountain. The two were cousins, and grew up together, so they were childhood sweethearts. Moreover, the female cultivator died at the hands of the monster, in order to save Yun Yongzhu's life. This was also the main reason why Yun Yongzhu couldn't let go of this relationship for so many years. There are not many people in the family who know about this matter now, so don't tell anyone. After that, Yun Yongzhu specifically told Yun Yongzhu this. 25th great-grandfather, don't worry. Yun Yongzhu is not a gossipy person, but he doesn't know if the 25th great-grandfather has any stories. The three of them had just stepped into the door of the shop when they saw Yun Yongzhu rushing out excitedly. Two great-grandfathers. Big brother, you are finally back. Let's go out for a walk. I finally came to Yunzhou City. Looking at his expectant look, the three of them laughed, and the two brothers Yun Yongzhu looked at Yun Yongzhu. Xiaojiu, you can take him to the market, we won't go. After that, the two of them went to the backyard to rest. Brother, Grandpa Jiu seems to be a little unhappy. It's okay, let's go. Brother will take you to the Sanxiu Square. Yun Yongzhu took his second brother out of the shop and walked slowly towards the big square that his father Yun Dachin took him to many years ago. Brother, Yunzhou City is really worthy of being the main city of our Yunzhou. There are so many cultivators. Yun Yongzhu followed closely beside his eldest brother, watching many cultivators walking on the street or entering and leaving the shops. The most cultivators he had seen was 7 or 8 years ago when Yun Yongzhu returned to the family for the first time and held a trade fair in the town below the mountain gate. But at that time, there were only 2 or 3,000 cultivators at most, which was nowhere near the number of cultivators in Yunzhou City. Looking at the streets, there were hundreds or thousands of them. That's because it's the time for King Shinsek to hold the Immortal Ascension Conference, and after the Immortal Ascension Conference, our 5 major foundation building families will hold an auction, so it attracts so many cultivators. But even in normal times, Yunzhou City has the most cultivators in the Yunzhou area, because there are the Wanbei Pavilion, the Bixu Pavilion, and many foundation building families and key training families that sell magic weapons, elixirs, and purchase spiritual objects. Yun Yongzhu knew that Yunzhou City was the commercial center of Yunzhou, and there were Yunwu Mountains nearby, so cultivators gathered here. Yun Yongzhu was thinking, it would be great if there were so many cultivators in our Yunwu town, so that I could earn spirit stones and the family's profit would be higher. As long as the family can grow, Yunwu town will naturally develop and attract more cultivators. Brother, what you said makes sense. In fact, over the years, the development of Yunwu town has been changing with each passing day. Before the trade fair was held in Yunwu Mountain, apart from the local family cultivators, there were usually only 500 or 600 independent cultivators. But after the trade fair, Yunwu town and the surrounding areas, and even the Yunwu mountain range, have attracted an endless stream of independent cultivators, and now there are at least 2,000 of them. These independent cultivators usually hunt monsters, pick spiritual herbs and medicines, and then sell them to the immortal cultivation families, mainly the Yun family, or do hard labor for the immortal cultivation families to obtain cultivation resources. As they talked, the two brothers walked to the market in the independent cultivator square. There are more cultivators here, and the scene is bustling. The cultivator stalls are next to each other, and all kinds of items are placed in the isolation cover on the stone platform stalls. Yun Yongzhu is dazzled by the sight. Brother, look, these are the God Travel Talisman, the Questioning Talisman, the Communication Talisman, the Body Stabilization Talisman, the Calming Talisman, the Calming Talisman, the Calming Talisman. There are so many. These are all things I don't know. The types of talismans are as diverse as the elixir, and they are countless. Now Yun Yongzhu is also a first-class middle-grade talisman maker, but he is a talisman maker specializing in the basic magic of the 5 element, and he only knows 5 kinds of talismans. Yun Yongzhu was also a little surprised when he heard it. His spiritual sense swept in the direction that Yun Yongzhu pointed, and he saw a stall in the distance with a dazzling array of talismans of various types and grades, even many first-class top-grade ones. What surprised the two even more was that the stall owner was a teenager who looked only 15 or 16 years old. Could it be a member of the Huang family of Taohua Mountain? Yun Yongzhu did not answer his brother's question, but said, "Let's go over and take a look." He thought of the ancient cave mansion and thought it was a good opportunity to add some talismans. Although the family also had some, it was still incomplete after all. Yun Yongzhu followed Yun Yongzhu to the stall with great interest. "Daoyao, please make way. Brother, please let me pass." There were many cultivators surrounding the stall. They were stopped by Yun Yongzhu one by one. They turned around and wanted to get angry, but saw the headband on his forehead and recognized his identity as a disciple of Yunwu Mountain. And they all felt Yun Yongzhu's unfathomable cultivation, and they were all silent and gave up their seats obediently. "Brother, I'm not mistaken. They are all talismans," Yun Yongzhu said, and then turned to the stall owner and asked, "Brother, did you carve and draw these talismans?" The young man was very unhappy when he saw that there were many people watching but few people buying. At this time, he saw Yun Yongzhu and the others coming to talk to him, and he suddenly became happy. "My fellow Taoist, I'm only the sage. Even if I'm gifted, I can't draw so many kinds of talismans. Only 3 of these talismans are made by me, and the others are made by my elders. Take a look. Do you need any?" Yun Yongzhu looked at them carefully one by one through the isolation shield with great interest, and praised them in admiration. "Bear, how is the quality of these talismans?" Yun Yongzhu asked him through voice transmission. "Brother, these talismans are of good quality. I think this boy is probably from Taohua Mountain." Yun Yongzhu knew what was going on after hearing this. "Little brother, how much do you sell these talismans for?" Hearing Yun Yongzhu asking about the price, the young man immediately smiled. "Senior, all the talismans here are of different types. Top grade talismans are all sold at 6 spirit stones each, mid grade talismans are sold at 1 spirit stone each, and low grade talismans are sold at 1 spirit stone for 8 pieces. How much do you want?" Hearing this price, Yun Yongzhu only raised his eyebrows, but Yun Yongzhu was shocked. "So expensive? Most of your talismans are auxiliary talismans. A mid-grade talisman costs at least 1 spirit stone for 2 pieces, and a low-grade talisman costs about 1 spirit stone for 10 pieces. The young man did not refute, but took out a few talismans from the bag on his waist and handed them to Yun Yongzhu. "You seem to be a talisman maker too. Take a look at the quality of my talismans." As soon as he got hold of them, Yun Yongzhu could feel the abundant spiritual power fluctuations contained in the talismans in his hand, so he had nothing to say. Brother, his talismans are indeed worth the price. Yun Yongzhu had already guessed the result. "Little brother, I want 3 of each of the top grade talismans on your stall. You can give me 2 of each of the middle grade and 2 of each of the low grade talismans. Is that okay?" Upon hearing this, the stall owner's eyes lit up. This was a big customer. He only thought for a few breaths before nodding and agreeing to Yun Yongzhu's price. There were a total of 17 kinds of talismans on the young man's stall, and Yun Yongzhu paid a total of 306 spiritual stones. "Bear, do you want to buy some talismans too?" If not, let's go. Yun Yongzhu certainly didn't buy any talismans. As a talisman maker, he had no shortage of talismans to use, and he didn't need these auxiliary talismans. The purpose of his coming out was just to see the excitement, gain knowledge, and improve his experience. Yun Yongzhu then took him around the SYNOPSIS square, looking at each stall. After all the shopping, Yun Yongzhu only bought 10 stacks of blank talisman paper and 2 boxes of first grade top grade talisman ink. Although he could make and mix these by himself, he rented his tools from his clan, and sometimes he wanted to be lazy. I wonder if there are any spiritual objects that I can use for my sister. Yun Yongzhu kept muttering this question while strolling around. The 5 brothers have already determined the gender of the baby in Yang Lia's belly, and they will discuss the needs of this little sister when they get together. It can be predicted that if the baby in Yang Lia's belly is really a girl, she will be the center of everyone's love after she is born. Seeing Yun Yongzhu bring it up, Yun Yongzhu was also thinking about this question. There is nothing good in this SYNOPSIS square. If I want to buy things for my little sister, I have to go to the shop. Yun Yongzhu nodded in agreement, but it was late today, so he didn't go. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 284, Pill Recipe. In the next 3 days, Yun Yongzhu took Yun Yongzhu to stroll around the market in Yunzhou City every day. Yun Yongzhu did gain a lot of knowledge in these days. Under Yun Yongzhu's advice, he saw through several scams. For example, passion fruit was disguised as a more precious spiritual fruit and sold at a high price. Another example is to make some ordinary items without spiritual energy look old and disguised as antiques, to defraud the spiritual stones of Yun Yongzhu, who had just left the family or the first time to go out of the sect to experience. In short, Yun Yongzhu gained a lot and knew that when he went out, he had to open his eyes before doing anything, whether it was to things or people. As time passed, more and more monks dressed in strange clothes came to Yunzhou City, making Yunzhou City feel a little crowded. The other half of the mortal area in the city became more and more quiet because of this. The mortals were afraid of bumping into the immortal master and ending up with a body and head separated and bones incomplete. 3 days passed quickly as the 2 brothers wandered around. Early in the morning of the 4th day, they set out with Yun Qilin and their 2 great-grandfathers Yun Zuxin and Yun Zuxun to the most prosperous and lively central area of the city, which is where the Wanbei Pavilion is located. Before the 5 people arrived at the Wanbei Pavilion, they saw from a distance the key training period monks gathered outside the pavilion in 3 layers inside and outside. Because even if the Wanbei Pavilion covers an area of more than 10 acres, it is impossible to accommodate 2 or 3,000 people. Therefore, not all monks who come to Yunzhou City can enter the Wanbei Pavilion. Those who can enter must either have wealth, strength, or be family monks. Having wealth means paying a certain amount of spirit stones to the Wanbei Pavilion to prove that they have enough financial resources to participate in the transaction. Those who don't want to pay spirit stones have to release their spiritual pressure and show their strength to the monks of the Wanbei Pavilion. Only those who have reached the late stage of key training are eligible to participate in the auction. As for the family, not all family monks can enter the Wanbei Pavilion. They must be well-known families in the Yunzhou area. The 5 members of the Yun family were both wealthy and powerful, and the key was that they were the auctioneers of the auction. Therefore, as soon as they appeared at the door of Wanbei Pavilion, they were discovered by the waiter, who immediately respectfully led them to a private room on the 2nd floor, and they had no obstacles along the way. There was a large window in the private room, and once it was opened, the view was excellent, and they could scan the entire venue. They could see the monks entering the 1st floor one after another, and the empty auction table directly below. After entering the private room and waiting for the waiter to serve teacups and spiritual fruits and leave, Yun Yongzhu said with emotion, "I didn't expect that there are so many monks in our Yunzhou, and there are so many people in the late stage of key training." Yun Yongzhu has always been wandering around the Yunwu mountain family's mountain gate. The farthest place he has been to is the Yunwu town market at the foot of the mountain. The number of late-stage key training monks in Yunwu town is not comparable to that of Yunzhou city. Yunzhou city is the main city of Yunzhou. With Wanbei Pavilion here, there are naturally more cultivators in the late stage of key training. Shilin, let you host the auction this time. Uncle Jiu, don't worry. I have hosted this auction many times and I'm very familiar with it. I have already understood the items for this auction and know how to explain it. The arrangement of the auction did not change because of the participation of Wanbei Pavilion. The respective families still arranged people to host it. Yunwu Mountain's appearance order for this auction was still ranked third, that is, the middle field. Several people were discussing when the auction would start in the private room when they heard someone knocking on the door outside. Yun Yongzhu scanned with his spiritual sense and found that it was Li Yunhei and a strange female cultivator with a veil. Please come in. Li Yunhei apologized as soon as he came in, claiming that he did not go out to greet them, etc. Brotherly, there is no need to be like this. Today is a busy time for the joint auction. Don't worry about these trivial matters. This private room is very good. Thank you for the arrangement, Brother Lee. The environment and view of Yun Yongzhu's private room were very good. He knew that it must have been arranged by Li Yunhei in advance. Thank you for your understanding, Junior Brother Yun. As long as Junior Brother Yun is satisfied, I'm here to introduce a fellow Daoist to you. The fellow Daoist Lan Fengson next to me. Fairy Lan, this is the fellow Daoist Yun Yongzhu I mentioned to you. The female cultivator who was building the foundation bowed slightly to Yun Yongzhu and saluted. Fellow Daoist Yun, I've heard of your great name for a long time. I'm Lan Fengson. The other party looked slender and graceful, with a mature woman's charm all over her body, but her whole body was wrapped tightly. Only a pair of watery eyes under the veil were staring straight at Yun Yongzhu. Yun Yongzhu felt a little uncomfortable being looked at by her, but he didn't show it on his face, just smiled and returned the salute. Fairy Lan is polite. Junior Brother Yun, Fairy Lan wants to talk to you alone about something. What do you think? I don't know what it is. Yun Yongzhu is not someone who can come at any time, so he has to ask clearly before speaking. Fellow Daoist Yun, I want to make a deal with you. Can you please go out and discuss it in detail? Trade? Yun Yongzhu was somewhat interested. So far, no cultivator of the same level has approached him to make a deal alone. Yes, I have a recipe for an elixir. I want to make a deal with you, fellow Daoist Yun. Hearing the recipe, Yun Yongzhu became even more interested. Since he entered the alchemy world, he has developed a hobby of collecting spiritual herbs and recipe records. So he explained a few words to the elders and went out with the two. Li Yunhei took Yun Yongzhu and Lan Fengson to the third floor and entered an empty room. Junior Brother Yun, Fairy Lan, the rooms below are all occupied. You can talk here. I have to go to the auction. Li Yunhei found an excuse and went downstairs. After he left, Lan Fengson took the lead and said, fellow Daoist Yun, I have an ancient recipe for an elixir. Take a look and see if you are interested. Then she took out a jade slip and handed it to Yun Yongzhu. Yun Yongzhu did not refuse. He probed into it with his spiritual sense and was a little surprised. It was a longevity pill. You can tell what it does just by the name. The longevity pill has the magical effect of extending the life of a cultivator. For Yun Yongzhu, who is only 30 years old now, the longevity pill is not very attractive, but for some cultivators who are about to die, it is very precious. Although the longevity pill is not very attractive to Yun Yongzhu, as an alchemist, Yun Yongzhu is very interested in the recipe of the longevity pill. What does Fairy Lan want to trade with me with this recipe? Fellow Daoist Yun, I heard that you can already refine the gathering spirit pill, which means that you are at least a second level lower grade alchemist now. Do you have any pills that you want me to refine? Fellow Daoist Yun is really smart. I would like to ask you to refine the rejuvenating pill. I wonder if you are sure. Yun Yongzhu shook his head and spread his hands. Fairy Lan, you've stumped me. I haven't even refined the rejuvenation pill, so how can I be sure of it? Lan Fengson's eyes revealed some disappointment when she heard this, but she didn't want to give up so easily, so she said, fellow Daoist Yun, I still have the recipe for the rejuvenation pill in my hand. Why don't you take a look at it? Yun Yongzhu had some guesses in his mind. He guessed that this female cultivator had damaged her appearance for some reason, so she wanted to take the rejuvenation pill to restore her appearance. No wonder she was wrapped up tightly. The other party wanted to show him the recipe, and Yun Yongzhu had no reason to refuse. To his surprise, the recipe for the rejuvenation pill was not covered by any restrictions, and he memorized all the contents. It seems that Lan Fengchen really wants the rejuvenation pill. Yun Yongzhu couldn't just be perfunctory after getting a recipe for nothing. He seriously understood the contents of the recipe. After more than an hour, he opened his eyes, met Lan Fengchen's expectant eyes, nodded, and said something. "Give me 2 months and I can start refining. The chances of success and failure are about 50-50. Chapter 285, Pill Auction. Hearing Yun Yongzhu say this, Lan Fengchen's eyes lit up, and then dimmed again. Because she only had one set of ingredients for the Fuan pill, which she had to travel to many places, and collected with great difficulty. As Yun Yongzhu guessed, she needed the Fuan pill, because her appearance was damaged. If Yun Yongzhu failed to refine it, she would have a hard time collecting all the ingredients for the Fuan pill, and the main ingredient, the Huanan flower, was really rare. Yun Yongzhu thought that so much time had passed, and he couldn't delay any longer. Fairy Lan, I have said all I can. Please think twice before making a decision. I'm going downstairs to see the auction first. You can come find me after the auction. Seeing the other party nod gently, he left Lan Fengchen and left alone. As soon as he left the room, Yun Yongzhu could hear the endless bidding sounds on the first and second floors below. He didn't know what treasure it was that attracted the monks to rush to get it. However, he could not see the scene of the auction stage in the corridor, and he could not hear it clearly, so Yun Yongzhu could not help but quicken his pace. He returned to the previous box along the same route, and as soon as his spiritual power touched the restriction outside the box, the door was instantly opened. "Brother, you are finally back. Now it is our Yunwu Mountains auction item's turn, and it is the elixir you made." It was Yun Yongbei who opened the door. When he saw that it was Yun Yongzhu outside, he directly pulled him in, dragged him into the box, and walked to the wide open window in the room. "Look, what is being auctioned now is the key gathering pill you made, and this is the last bottle." After Yun Yongzhu went in, he called out 9 great grandpa, 25th great grandpa, and then looked down at the auction house and saw the 12th grandpa Yun Shilin standing on the stage. At this time, the heated atmosphere in the audience had cooled down. Seeing this, Yun Shilin said, 166 spirit stones. Is there any higher bid? This is the last bottle of top grade key gathering pill in this auction. Before he finished speaking, a bid came from a private room on the second floor, 170 spirit stones. As soon as the voice fell, another voice came from another private room on the second floor, 180 spirit stones. Yun Shilin asked 3 times in a row. Seeing that no one continued to bid, he tapped the gavel in his hand. Congratulations to the fellow Taoist on the second floor for getting the last bottle of top grade key gathering pill. The next one to go is a top grade key recovery pill. Everyone should know about the key recovery pill. It is suitable for people in the key training stage to use and can quickly restore spiritual power. The efficacy of this top grade key recovery pill is even better. It can restore 80% of spiritual power in about half a quarter of an hour. There are quite a few key recovery pills in this batch. They are auctioned in 10 groups, 5 in a group, with a starting price of 200 spirit stones. The first group starts 205 spirit stones, 210 spirit stones. Yun Yongzhu couldn't help but be a little surprised. He didn't expect that the transaction price of a bottle of top grade key gathering pill would reach 180 spirit stones. Jiu, it seems that your pills are very popular. Yes, after they take them, I guess your pills will be even more popular. Yun Zuxan and Yun Zuxan were also standing by the window watching. What the 9th great grandfather said makes sense. The quality of the pills refined by my eldest brother is beyond reproach. Yun Yongbei's face was full of smugness, as if all these pills were refined by him. When it comes to the key gathering pills refined by Yun Yongzhu and Yunwu Mountain, the people who have the most say are Yun Yongzhu's parents and brothers, especially Yun Yongbei, who is now close to the water. While the three of them were talking, the first set of key restoring pills was sold at a price of 240 spirit stones. The next 9 sets of key restoring pills were sold at a price of no less than 230 spirit stones, which averaged out to 49 spirit stones each. The elixir to be auctioned next is the top grade Baixiang beauty pill, which is a kind of elixir specially developed by our Yun family alchemist. After taking it, it can beautify and nourish the skin, delay aging, and emit a strange fragrance. After taking a whole bottle, people can return to youth, and the effect is comparable to the second level rejuvenating pill. The disadvantage is that it can only maintain youthful appearance for a short period of 5 years, and will soon be beaten back to its original state after 5 years. Therefore, if you want to maintain the effect of maintaining your appearance, you can only take a bottle every 5 years. This auction is going to auction 2 bottles of such Baixiang beauty pills, which will be auctioned in 2 batches. The starting price is 500 lingxi. Please bid. After Yun Shilin introduced the Baixiang beauty pill, almost all the female cultivators in the auction hall had a look of determination to win, especially the female cultivators in the second floor box. Some female cultivators acted coquettishly to their elders, brothers, Taoist companions, etc. to buy it, while those who were short of money could only watch with envy. As Yun Yongzhu expected, all female cultivators love beauty. As soon as Yun Shilin finished speaking, the sound of bidding came from the second floor, and the price rose sharply, trying to scare off others. 600 spirit stones. But this obviously did not scare the other female cultivators. 610. 620 spirit stones. 630 spirit stones. 700 spirit stones. 730 spirit stones. In less than half an hour, the first bottle of Baixiang beauty pill was won by the first second floor cultivator who bid at a sky-high price of 730. Grandfathers, big brother, are these female cultivators crazy? This is just a bottle of pill that is useless for cultivation. Yun Yongzhu couldn't understand this. In his opinion, with so many spirit stones, it would be better to bid more for the top grade key gathering pill in front. Yun Yongzhu patted Yun Yongzhu on the back of his head. Second brother, everyone loves beauty. What's so hard to understand? Looking at your appearance, it will be difficult for you to find a Taoist partner in the future. Brother, what you said is unreasonable. It seems that you know a lot about female cultivators, but you don't find me a sister-in-law. Yun Zuxin and the other man smiled at each other. The atmosphere in the box was very relaxed and happy. Not long after, the second bottle of Baixiang beauty pill was sold for 780 spirit stones. The above 3 kinds of pills are all first level pills, which can be regarded as appetizers. The next item is a bottle of second level lower grade Jiling pill. Jiling pill is a pill that improves spiritual power and cultivation. It is suitable for foundation building cultivators to take. 1 pill can be equivalent to half a year of hard training. This bottle of Jiling pills will be auctioned one by one, with a starting price of 150 spirit stones. When everyone heard this, they were immediately in an uproar. This meant that the alchemist of the Yun family was very likely a second level lower grade alchemist. Didn't the alchemist from Yunwu Mountain just build his foundation for a year? How did he become a second level alchemist so quickly? Yes, it's really surprising. There was a lot of discussion on the scene, all of which were from the key training cultivators on the first floor. As for the masters in the foundation building period, they were either bidding for the soul gathering pill, or considering whether to participate in the auction. Congratulations to this senior for winning the first low grade soul gathering pill with 186 spirit stones. The second one is starting. It seems that the name of Wanbao Pavilion has really helped us a lot this time. Indeed, there were only a few dozen people at the auction in previous years, but this time there seemed to be 40 or 50 people. I didn't expect that there are so many foundation building cultivators hidden in our Yunzhou. Although the low grade soul gathering pill is sold in Wanbao Pavilion, the quantity is small and unstable, so it is very tempting. Not only were there bids in the private room on the second floor, but there were also several foundation building cultivators hiding in the hall on the first floor bidding. Taking a low grade soul gathering pill can save half a year of boring meditation and cultivation. How could it not cause crazy competition among the foundation building cultivators present? The soul gathering pill was auctioned very quickly. In less than an incense stick of time, all the auctions were completed, earning 1,890 soul stones. If the foundation building cultivators only had these, I'm afraid the income from the soul gathering pill would be more than this. Chapter 286, Alternative Items. After the auction of the soul gathering pill, Yun Yongzhu said solemnly to everyone, "Fellow Daoists, seniors, the next item is the last item from our Yunwu mountain." He then said in a mysterious tone, "This item is rather special. It is neither a magic weapon nor a talisman, nor is it spirit wine or an elixir. Instead, it is two places for free elixir refining." Upon hearing this, the first floor of the auction hall could not help but become agitated, and the cultivators in the boxes on the second floor were also surprised, because such an alternative item had never appeared at an auction in Yunzhou. Yun Yongzhu was not affected by the movements of the monks at the venue. He continued to explain, that is to say, as long as you take this spot, you can bring a set of spiritual medicine materials you have prepared to our Yun family's alchemist, to refine a furnace of elixirs for free. Of course, this kind of elixir must be an elixir that the Yun family alchemist knows how to make. If the alchemist does not know how to make it, you need to prepare the recipe yourself, and the furnace opening time will be extended. This spot is also guaranteed. We promise that the number of first level elixirs will be more than 5, including 5, and the number of top grade elixirs will be more than 2. The number of second level elixirs will be more than 2, including 2. If the number is insufficient, our Yun family will make up for it. After Yun Yongzhu's explanation, the eyes of the foundation building monks at the venue suddenly lit up, while the monks in the key training period all showed disappointment. It is easy to imagine that this spot will not fall into their hands. If it weren't for the previous low-grade soul gathering pill, it's estimated that the Yun family's alchemy quota might still be taken by a cultivator in the key training stage. But in fact, the Yun family bid a full 10 second level low-grade soul gathering pills at one time. Yun Yongzhu was about to continue talking about the starting price when a cultivator in a private room on the second floor suddenly asked a question. "I do have a soul gathering grass that can be used to refine soul gathering pills, but I don't have the other auxiliary medicinal materials. If I bid for this alchemy quota, can you refine soul gathering pills for me for free?" Yun Yongzhu stood by the window of the private room and suddenly remembered that, although all the cultivators knew that the main ingredient of soul gathering pills was soul gathering grass, its specific formula was not known to everyone. Seeing Yun Yongzhu looking in the direction of the private room, Yun Yongzhu directly answered, and his voice spread throughout the room. "Since this fellow Taoist has raised this question, Yun will change the rules of this alchemy quota on the spot. As long as you bid for this quota, you only need to prepare the main materials and several important auxiliary medicines for refining the elixir. At that time, Yun will tell you what spiritual medicine materials you need to prepare." Yun Yongzhu had no choice but to do this. It was impossible for him to directly tell others all the materials needed for the elixir recipe. He could only ask the other party to prepare the most expensive and hard to get spiritual medicine materials in the elixir recipe. After he finished speaking, Yun Yongzhu responded quickly and said, "If you have any questions, please ask them on the spot." Seeing that no one said anything, he continued, "In that case, let's start bidding for this first quota. The starting price is 1 spiritual stone, and you can bid as you like. Please bid." The transaction price of this quota depends entirely on the value of the elixir that the auctioneer needs Yun Yongzhu to refine, as well as the competition for this alchemy quota on the spot, so the starting price is only 1 spiritual stone. 10 spiritual stones. 11 spiritual stones. This was clearly an offer from a cultivator who was hoping for a lucky break. Just as 2 people spoke up, they were quickly surpassed by others. 200 spiritual stones. 300 spiritual stones. Chapter 287 Mother Talisman. 320 spirit stones. 330 spirit stones. The second floor box of the venue paused for 2 breaths before a cultivator continued to bid. 350 spirit stones. 360 spirit stones. 360. Is there a higher bid? After waiting for about 2 or 3 breaths, seeing that no one spoke, Yun Yongzhu gently tapped the small gavel in his hand and sold out a place for alchemy. Yun Yongzhu thought to himself that it seemed that he had taken on the task of refining the Fu and Bill, because he could tell that the owner of the voice that offered 300 spirit stones was the female cultivator Lan Fengchen, who had approached him to make a deal before. However, Yun Yongzhu had expected this, and as long as he was given time, he was very confident that he could refine the Fu and Bill. The reason why he said that to Lan Fengchen before was that he knew that nothing was absolute. The second place for alchemy was only sold for 300 spirit stones. After Yunwu Mountain, the cultivators of the Huang family of Taohua Mountain and the Liu family of Wuya Valley went to the auction platform to auction their own items. The Huang family naturally auctioned off first and second order talismans of various attributes and uses, and the second order talismans were of course auctioned off as the finale. Yun Yongzhu had no shortage of second order talismans, so he only spent 300 spirit stones to buy 300 first order talismans, such as the flying bird talisman, the sound isolation talisman, the giant power talisman, the detection talisman, the spirit crane talisman, the mysterious yang talisman, the mysterious yin talisman, and so on. He only now truly knew how amazing the talisman inheritance of Taohua Mountain was. Two great-grandfathers, the talisman inheritance of Taohua Mountain is really enviable. Many of the talismans we have in Yunwu Mountain don't even know how to make. Compared to Yun Yongzhu, Yun Yongbei knew more about talismans, and he was even more moved when he saw this scene. Of course, I heard that the Huang family of Taohua Mountain has a precious mother talisman. It is because their family's talisman makers can comprehend a variety of spells and draw them into talismans that they can comprehend the mother talisman. However, these are all rumors, and it is difficult to distinguish the truth from the false. The Huang family of Taohua Mountain has developed in Yunzhou for more than 700 years with talismans. Even if there is no mother talisman, there are other treasures that can comprehend talismans and draw them, or increase the success rate of making talismans, because nearly half of the cultivators in Taohua Mountain are talisman makers. There should be some treasure, otherwise it is impossible for so many cultivators in Taohua Mountain to have the talent of talisman makers. Although Yun Yongzhu didn't know much about making talismans, he had heard of the name of the mother talisman. This mother talisman is actually equivalent to the experience of refining elixirs or refining tools, and it is not a talisman that can be used. Whether it is a first level, second level, or even a third level talisman maker, as long as he can comprehend the mother talisman from time to time, there is a chance that the spells he has learned can be engraved on a blank talisman paper to form a talisman. As for the general talisman inheritance, there are only a few unencrypted talismans. After a long time of copying and engraving, the cultivators have a certain chance to form talismans. If you just buy a few talismans at random, the cultivators can simply follow the engraving and drawing, then everyone can become a talisman maker. It is undeniable that there are people with extraordinary talents in the world who can decipher even encrypted talismans, or draw them together with the encrypted runes to make a usable talisman. But such geniuses are few after all. Most people need to copy for a long time before they can understand and gain something, even if they draw an unencrypted talisman. The rune patterns of the same talisman made and sold by different talisman makers will be different, because the encrypted restrictions and encrypted runes made by each talisman maker are different. It shouldn't be the mother talisman. If Taohua Mountain has this treasure, how can it stay in Yunzhou safely for so many years? Although the overall situation of the Dayanxiuxin world is relatively stable and harmonious, this is only a superficial phenomenon. If a cultivator family has a treasure and spreads the news, it will naturally attract many interested people to come and snatch it. Who knows? I don't know who spread the rumor about the mother talisman. Since Taohua Mountain is still there after so many years, and is still in good condition, the probability that there is no mother talisman should be greater. Chapter 288, The Battle of Techniques 1. As Yun Yongzhu and the others were discussing, the host of Taohua Mountain soon left the stage, and was replaced by someone arranged by the Liu family of Wuya Valley to host the auction. As the richest family of immortal cultivation in Yunzhou, the Liu family established themselves in the Yunzhou area with spiritual fields, but their auction items were not just spiritual rice and spiritual grains. In addition to growing spiritual rice, Wu'ai Valley also grows many spiritual medicines and spiritual plants with higher value. As soon as the host came to the auction stage, he auctioned off more than a dozen first-level spiritual medicines with higher years. As long as Yun Yongzhu found what he needed, he did not hesitate, and directly participated in the auction. After just a short incense stick of time, he successively bought 12 kinds of spiritual medicines, and spent 186 spiritual stones. Among these 12 kinds of spiritual medicines, 5 are auxiliary medicines for refining Huling pills, 3 are auxiliary medicines for refining Yanghan pills, and the remaining 4 are auxiliary medicines for refining Jiling pills. Among the second level pills, the spiritual medicine materials for refining Jiling pills are the easiest to gather. The only material of Huling pills is the main medicine Huling fruit, which is relatively rare, while the other auxiliary medicines are easy to obtain. The reason why Yun Yongzhu bought the 9 auxiliary herbs for refining the soul gathering pill and the soul returning pill was because the age of these 9 spiritual herbs was very rare. When the pills were refined, the quality of the finished pills would probably be slightly improved, except for the soul gathering pill and the soul returning pill, which were easier to refine. The materials for refining other pills were not easy to gather. The recipe for the soul nourishing pill had been in Yun Yongzhu's hands for nearly 18 years, and Yun Yongzhu had not even gathered enough materials for a complete set of refining. 6 of the materials were still missing the main ingredient, the soul nourishing grass, and the other 5 materials were scattered. There are really a lot of spiritual medicines cultivated in Wu'ai Valley. There are more than 20 kinds. After all, it is an old foundation building family with a heritage of thousands of years, and it is also a spiritual field family. Naturally, it has a rich foundation. Jiu, you don't know that in previous years, Wu'ai Valley was not like today. They just took out a few spiritual medicines to deal with it. In addition, most of them were some special spiritual objects purchased from several nearby realms for auction. This year, it may be because of the drought, so they didn't go to the outer realm. And Wu'ai Valley probably guessed that you would come, so they took out these older and less common spiritual medicines for auction. Yun Yongzhu thought after hearing this. This is understandable. In this Yunzhou realm, there are only a few alchemists. Therefore, when the scattered cultivators harvested spiritual medicines in the wild, they sold them to local immortal cultivation families or sect shops at low prices, while the spiritual medicines cultivated by the family were either sold to local forces with alchemists, or traveled thousands of miles to the outer realm to make a move. With Yun Yongzhu's current alchemy level, he is truly a standout in Yunzhou. He can imagine how crowded Yunwu Mountain will be in the future. About an incense stick of time passed, and the finale of the Worry-Free Valley was on the stage. It was a second level lower grade spirit gathering grass, a second level upper grade spiritual bamboo, and 10 kilograms of second level upper grade purple thunder ice. Since it was the finale, it was naturally not an ordinary thing. The spirit gathering grass is a main ingredient for refining the second level spirit gathering pill. It is a second level lower grade spiritual medicine. Generally, it can be used as medicine after growing for 30 years. 30 years is not a short time. Ordinary cultivators can only grow it 3 times at most in their lifetime, but the growth period of the Liu family's spirit gathering grasses as long as 42 years. Such a high year spiritual medicine is naturally more effective. Yun Yongzhu will certainly not let it go. He bid a high price of 90 spirit stones to get this rare second level lower grade spirit gathering grass. Using this spirit gathering grass to refine the spirit gathering pill, regardless of whether the success rate will increase, the quality of the pill will definitely be greatly improved. When combined with the spirit gathering pill auxiliary medicines photographed earlier, there is a high probability that a top grade spirit gathering pill can be refined. And that rare second grade top grade spiritual bamboo was bought by Yun Yongzhu's second brother Yun Yongbei at a high price of 150 spirit stones. The spiritual power conductivity of this spiritual bamboo is very good, and it is the best to use it to refine talisman pens. Therefore, the cultivators of Teohua Mountain were also very excited, and this is why the starting price of 50 spirit stones was tripled. You should know that the price of an ordinary low-grade spiritual tool is only about 300 spirit stones, and 150 spirit stones is already half the value of a low-grade spiritual tool. When I get the hair of a second level wolf, rat, or fox monster, I can ask the second level refiner in the clan to help me refine a second level spiritual tool talisman pen. This way, the success rate of drawing talismans should be greatly improved. Although it cost a huge sum of 150 spiritual stones to get that short section of spiritual bamboo, which was only more than 7 inches long, Yun Yongzhu seemed very happy. He is only at the 5th level of key training now, and it is only with the help of his parents and brothers that he has made such rapid progress. Most of his brothers and cousins who are about the same age as him are still at the 4th level of key training, or even hovering at the 2nd or 3rd level of key training. But he is already 24 years old now, and he can't always rely on his parents and brothers. If he has a spiritual tool talisman pen, his success rate in refining and carving talismans will be much higher, so the efficiency of earning spiritual stones can be greatly improved. His parents and brothers don't have to worry about him all the time. After all, he has the worst cultivation aptitude in the whole family. Although cultivators in the key training stage are generally unable to offer sacrifices to and refine spiritual tools, it is no problem to use the talisman pens used by talisman makers, the alchemy furnaces used by alchemists, and the refining furnaces used by tool refiners without offering sacrifices. Although using magic tools at the spiritual tool level consumes more spiritual power, it is definitely more efficient than using first level magic tools to assist in talisman making, alchemy, and tool refining. As for the 10 kilograms of second level top grade purple thunder ice, it was bought by other cultivators on the 2nd floor. This purple thunder ice is a second level top grade spiritual rice unique to the Liu family of Wuya Valley. It is a thunder attributed spiritual rice. Long-term consumption can enhance a person's physique and increase a person's resistance to thunder, so it is particularly valuable. The maturity period of second level spiritual rice is often 10 years, which is longer than the growth period of some second level spiritual medicines. Therefore, few families grow and cultivate it, and it is very valuable. Generally, more than 10 spiritual stones are needed to buy a kilogram of second level spiritual rice, and there are only a few hundred grains in a kilogram. Of course, even if there is a family that wants to cultivate this second grade spiritual rice, it must have the conditions for planting. The second grade spiritual field and spiritual rice seeds are indispensable. Yun Yongzhu has been in Kingshan sect for 20 years, and he has only eaten second grade spiritual rice 6 times in Piomio residence that was specially prepared for him by his master's wife Yang Liu on his birthday. On weekdays, he mainly eats first grade medium and high grade spiritual rice. From this, you can imagine how precious this second grade high grade spiritual rice is. After Wuya Valley, it fell to Wanbao Pavilion, which was the last to appear. This Wanbao Pavilion is worthy of the power of Kingshan sect. Even in Yunzhou, the auction items are dazzling, making all the cultivators dazzled. Talismans, magic weapons, elixirs, spiritual medicine materials, monster materials, spell maps, spirit beast eggs and spirit beast cubs, formations, etc. took turns to appear and suddenly surpassed the 5 major foundation building families in Yunzhou. However, as a direct disciple of Master Huang of Piomio Peak of Kingshan sect, Yun Yongzhu had seen a lot of good things. He only bid a few times and bought a recipe for a first level elixir called King Feng powder and a first level elixir called Tang Hu pill, 2 second level inferior spiritual medicines, 100-year-old Zuanshan, and 100-year-old Ganoderma lucidum, and a second level medium quality demon beast spirit. These 2 recipes plus 2 second level inferior spiritual medicines and demon beast spirit were more than 3 times higher than the total transaction price of all the spiritual medicines he had bought at the Liu family auction in Wuya Valley, and Yun Yongzhu spent a full 1,120 spirit stones. After more than an hour, the auction of Wanbao Pavilion finally came to an end. My fellow Yunzhou people, in order to celebrate this joint auction held by our store and the 5 major families in Yunzhou, Wanbao Pavilion has specially prepared a finale item this time, a first level superior cultivation method 5 element secret, which can be cultivated to the great perfection of foundation building. The auctioneer of Wanbao Pavilion had not finished speaking when the whole venue was boiling. All the cultivators, whether they were casual cultivators on the first floor or family cultivators in the second floor box, all had their eyes attracted by this auction item. Some cultivators from key training families even stood up excitedly, revealing greedy expressions. Even the cultivators from the 5 major foundation building families stared at the auction table with burning eyes, not to mention the casual cultivators. Although the 5-element sutra is only a first grade upper grade, it is very precious and rare to be able to cultivate to the great perfection of foundation building. The cultivation method is undoubtedly very precious. It limits the starting point and height of the cultivator's cultivation. Even if a person has excellent cultivation talent and rich cultivation resources, if he does not have the method, it is difficult for a good cook to cook without rice. Every method in the cultivation world is the result of countless ancestors' millions of years of exploration, and countless ancestors died before the method was perfected and passed down. In the current world of immortal cultivation, we have heard of alchemy masters creating their own recipes, formation masters creating their own formations, and even cultivators creating their own spells, but we have never heard of cultivators creating their own techniques. Therefore, the preciousness of this technique is self-evident. During the 24 years of Yun Yongzhu's cultivation, he only obtained 2 techniques, of which the intake key technique family included more complete ones, and the other 5-element basic spirit technique was only a first level low grade technique, and the cultivation efficiency was very low. Although the 5-element technique is only a first level high grade technique without magical spells, matching body techniques and elixirs, it is simple and easy to understand, and no matter what kind of spiritual root qualifications you have, you can practice this technique. The starting price of this technique is 500 spirit stones. Please bid for it. The starting price alone excludes most casual cultivators, and the remaining casual cultivators who can afford 500 spirit stones will definitely not be able to compete with the immortal cultivation family. There is no doubt that this book 5-element sutra will only fall into the hands of one of the 5 foundation building families. Even if the key training family has the financial resources, it does not have the strength and courage to participate in the competition. The foundation building stage and the key training stage are the natural chasm between the two, which cannot be crossed. Otherwise, the family will not know how it has declined. 2 great-grandfathers, we Yun Wu Mountain can't let go of this book 5-element sutra. In fact, compared with the other 4 foundation building families in Yunzhou, Yun Wu Mountain undoubtedly has the upper hand in terms of exercises. The Yun family has a total of 10 sets of cultivation exercises, all 5-element, and there are 4 sets that can be cultivated to the foundation building stage, namely Fire Cloud Sutra, Longevity Sutra, Soft Water Sutra and Intake Key Sutra, which cover the 5 spiritual root attributes. Other families, even Wu'ai Valley, which has been operating in Yunzhou for thousands of years, may not have 4 sets of exercises that can be cultivated to the great perfection of foundation building. Chapter 289, The Battle of Techniques 2. Of course, with this book 5-element sutra, our younger generation of Yun Wu Mountain disciples will have more choices when choosing cultivation methods. Although most cultivators' spiritual roots are not good, they are all pseudo-spiritual root qualifications such as 4 spiritual roots or 5 spiritual roots, but when they have a choice, they can use their most outstanding spiritual roots as the standard to choose the corresponding attribute of the cultivation method, or choose the cultivation method that can assist a certain skill, or choose the cultivation method with higher attack power, etc. For example, Yun Yongzhu has the qualification of 5 spiritual roots, and he can practice the 5 attributes of the cultivation method, but his water attribute spiritual root is more outstanding. Practicing water attribute cultivation method will undoubtedly make the cultivation progress faster. This is only in Yun Wu Mountain. If it is in an ordinary key training family, there is no room for choice, and you can only practice whatever cultivation method you have. But I'm afraid it's not easy to get this 5-element sutra. The other 4 families are probably jealous. This time when we come to Yunzhou City, we will not only bring the auction items, but also the spirit stones. Before the people in the box on the 2nd floor can make their own calculations, many cultivators on the 1st floor of the auction house have already competed to bid. 550 spirit stones, 600 spirit stones, 600 spirit stones. People kept bidding, and the price was rising straight up. In just a few dozen breaths, it more than doubled. However, there were only a few people bidding on the second floor, and all of them were just hoping for the best. After half a quarter of an hour, the atmosphere on the first floor of the venue gradually cooled down. 1,500 spirit stones. You can bid now. 13. You bid. 9. Great-grandfather. Yun Yongzhu looked at the way Yun Yongzhu and the other 4 looked at him, pointing their fingers at him, with questioning faces. Seeing that they all had an expression of "you heard it right," he nodded with determination, as if he was going to the battlefield. Thank you to great-grandfathers for your trust. 13 will definitely win this technique. Then Yun Yongzhu used his spiritual power and started bidding in the direction of the auction table downstairs. 1,800 spirit stones. With the help of spiritual power, Yun Yongzhu's voice resounded throughout the venue. In his opinion, only by suddenly raising the auction price by a large margin can some people wake up and realize that this auction item is not something they can covet. Sure enough, after Yun Yongzhu's voice fell, the first floor suddenly became quiet and no one bid again. 1,900. 2,000 spirit stones. 2,100 spirit stones. However, there were no competitors on the first floor, but the people on the second floor were not afraid. The competition had just begun, and Wuya Valley, Teohua Mountain, Billing Lake and Lionhua Mountain also began to officially enter the venue. The people from Yunjin Mountain and Wanhua Valley did not join in the fun. 2,500 spirit stones. Although Yun Yongzhu was only at the 5th level of key training, he was very courageous. He raised the price by hundreds of spirit stones in one breath, with an attitude of being determined to win, and not taking spirit stones seriously. Don't you think that my elder brother can earn 7,000 to 8,000 spiritual stones by refining only a dozen bottles of elixirs? This is Yun Yongzhu's true inner thought. Yun Yongzhu, his elder brother, gave him unparalleled courage and confidence. Even if the spiritual stones prepared by the family are not enough, the spiritual stones obtained from the previous auction can make up for it. And in fact, this is also the case. The other 4 people in the box all looked at him with admiration. The reason why Yun Yongzhu and the others were relieved to hand over the auction to Yun Yongzhu was mainly because they had enough spiritual stones in their hands, and were very confident. It was just right to use this to train Yun Yongzhu. They were not afraid of missing out on this 5-element sutra, because even if any member of the Yunwu Mountain tribe bid for it, the result would be the same. This technique would definitely fall into the hands of the Yun family of Yunwu Mountain. Today is different from the past. Yunwu Mountain has a legitimate son who worships under the tutelage of the Kingshan sect, a great creature. This tribe member not only became a true disciple of the Jinden Zenran, but also became a quasi 2nd level lower grade alchemist. Removing the word quasi is just a matter of changing the alchemist token. In their opinion, this is a matter of time. Even in Kingshan sect, a 2nd level alchemist is a rare talent, let alone in this remote corner of Yunzhou. As expected, with the voice of Yun Yongzhu's offer, 2 families stopped bidding one after another, leaving only Teohua Mountain and Lionhua Mountain. At this time, the price had climbed to 3,100 spiritual stones. Yun Yongzhu slowed down the range of his bids, and increased it by 100 spiritual stones, biting hard. After only one round, Teohua Mountain and Lionhua Mountain also gave up. They really didn't need to offend the rising star of Yunzhou for a 1st level top grade technique. After all, this technique was not a scarce resource for their family. If a technique could be cultivated to the golden core stage, regardless of the grade, it is estimated that even Yunjin Mountain and Wanhua Valley would have to join, and the competition would not be small. 3,400 spiritual stones. Are there any Taoist friends who can bid higher? The auctioneer of Wanbei Pavilion routinely asked 3 times, and when no one answered, he clapped the table and made the deal. A 1st-class upper-grade technique, even if it is a mediocre one, is sold for 3,400 spirit stones, which is not a high price. However, for Wanbei Pavilion, even if the transaction price is only the starting price, the net profit is still quite a lot. After all, the cost is only a 2nd-class upper-grade heart jade. By re-engraving this technique and selling it to more distant states, it can repeatedly earn spirit stones. This time, Yunwu Mountain took advantage of a small advantage. If it were a serious competition, it would be impossible to sell a first-class upper-grade technique that can be cultivated to the great perfection of foundation building at this price. In fact, one Bayo Pavilion arranged a shill in advance. If the bid was too low, the shill would naturally drive up the price, and even if the people participating in the auction knew about this, they could only hold their noses and bear it. Although Yun Yongzhu only sold 10 low-grade gelling pills this time, the shock it brought to Li Yunhei was unimaginable, because Yun Yongzhu last sold gelling pills in Wanbei Pavilion just a few months ago. In just a few months, he sold a whole bottle of low-grade gelling pills, and won 2 alchemy quotas, which was enough to prove Yun Yongzhu's alchemy level. At least he could steadily refine low-grade gelling pills. The last time Yun Yongzhu sold the gelling pills in Wanbei Pavilion, he not only sold a few pills in Wanbei Pavilion, but also kept a few for himself. After personal experience, he found that the gelling pills refined by Yun Yongzhu were better than the pills delivered by the sect. Later, he collected all the pills refined by Yun Yongzhu, and kept them for himself to take slowly. Yun Yongzhu had such a great alchemy ability, so Li Yunhei would naturally not do such a stupid thing as raising the price, to offend Yunwu Mountain and Yun Yongzhu. He gave orders early in the morning, to remove the secret agent. Grandfathers, you saw it, 3,400 spirit stones. Fortunately I have fulfilled my mission. Yun Yongbei was in high spirits, very excited, feeling that he had done something big. He had never spent so much money in his life, very refreshing. 13. You did a good job. Looking at your initial posture, I thought you would bleed a lot this time, but I didn't expect it to turn around. Yes, you played well this time. Bear, you have the style of my big brother. Yun Zuxin and Yun Yongzhu praised Yun Yongbei, thinking that he controlled the rhythm of the auction very well, while Yun Shilin ran out of the box, went to the backstage, to pay the auction price, and took the auction items back one by one. Chapter 290 An Unexpected Surprise. Soon, Yun Shilin returned to the box where Yun Yongzhu and the others were with a happy face. He took out a dark green jade slip from his storage bag, and handed it to Yun Zuxin respectfully. Uncle 9, Uncle 25, I got the 5 element sutra. Looking at the jade slip, everyone's mouth corners raised, especially Yun Zuxin and Yun Zuxin. This technique is the first technique that can be practiced to the perfection of foundation building, since the Yunwu Mountain tribe was established. It is of great significance. After a short while of happiness, Yun Zuxin put the jade slip of the technique into the storage bag, and said to Yun Shilin, Shilin, take Xiao Shizhen back to the shop first. We have a trade fair to attend. The trade fair that Yun Zuxin mentioned is a trade fair between foundation building cultivators. The trade at this trade fair is relatively rare spiritual objects, and the trading method is usually barter. There are not many foundation building cultivators in Yunzhou. Only during the auctions that take place once every 20 years will these foundation building cultivators gather together. After each auction, there will be a small trade fair like this. Yes, Uncle Jiu. Let's go back now. After Yun Shilin and Yun Yongbei left, Yun Zuxin took out 4,135 spirit stones and handed them to Yun Yongzhu. This is your share of the auction. Yun Yongzhu didn't count them, but put them away neatly. Then he followed the 2 great grandfathers out of the box and went up to the 3rd floor of Wanbei Pavilion. In the past Wuya Valley provided the venue, but this time it is more convenient to trade directly in Wanbei Pavilion. Yes, I guess there will be many more fellow Taoists coming to trade this time. 2 great grandfathers, are there any good things in this trade fair? The 3 of them walked and talked, and after a while they went upstairs and entered a reception room. This reception room is very spacious, more than enough to accommodate 50 or 60 people. The interior is very simply decorated, with no other furnishings except for dozens of tables and chairs. As soon as they saw Yun Zuxin and the other 2 come in, the 5 foundation building monks who had been waiting, stood up and eagerly invited the 3 to take a seat. They were especially attentive to Yun Yongzhu. Yunzhou was only this big, and there were only about 50 foundation building monks. After so many years of trade fairs, even if they were not familiar with each other, they at least had some impression of each other. Yun Yongzhu's butt had just touched the chair when more than 10 foundation building monks came in one after another from the reception room. These monks were dressed differently, and there were men, women, young and old, but the majority were elderly. In less than a quarter of an hour, the reception room was already full of foundation building monks and a few key training monks. After waiting for nearly half a quarter of an hour, seeing that no one entered the large living room, Liu Jiangheng, the supreme elder of Wu'ai Valley, stood up and said to the people sitting in a circle in the room, "Fellow Taoists, the time is almost up. Let's start the transaction, and I will be the first to throw out the bricks and jade." Although this place is the territory of Wanbei Pavilion, Liu Jiangheng is the one with the highest cultivation among all of them, reaching the late stage of foundation building, and the spiritual pressure around him is amazing. Most of the others are in the early stage of foundation building, and there are less than 10 people in the middle stage of foundation building. Among these people, only 2 are not from the 5 major foundation building families in Yunzhou. From this, it can be seen how difficult it is for a cultivator to make further progress in cultivation once he advances to the foundation building stage. Then Liu Jiangheng took out an exquisite jade box from the storage bag on his waist. "This is a piece of red soulstone that I got many years ago. If any Taoist is interested, you can exchange it with me for water attributed, or of the same level or spiritual medicine or elixir. If there are spiritual herbs and spiritual medicines that can prolong life, you can exchange them first." As he spoke, he opened the lid of the jade box and let everyone explore it. Yun Yongzhu's spiritual sense swept over the bright red ore, which was about the size of an adult's fist, which was really not small. He thought to himself that this trade fair between foundation building cultivators was indeed much more advanced than the auction just now. The material that just appeared was a second level top grade material. Red soulstone is not a common metallic ore. If the value is estimated by spiritual stones, this red soulstone cannot be obtained without 300 spiritual stones. However, although red soulstone is not very rare, it is also a hard to get item, especially in Yunzhou. It is even more precious. Generally, foundation building cultivators will exchange it for materials that match their own skills and spiritual power attributes, or suitable elixirs. However, the spiritual medicine that can prolong life is so rare and precious that, even if a cultivator gets it by chance, he will not be stupid enough to exchange it for a piece of red soulstone. Looking at the look in the eyes of Liu Jiangheng from Wu'ai Valley, Yun Yongzhu shook his head slightly. He already had a top grade attack spiritual weapon, the red feather fan, and there was really no need to exchange it for a piece of fire attribute or. Yun Zuxan, who was sitting next to Yun Yongzhu, took out a small jade bottle. "Brother Liu, I have 2 low-grade gathering spirit pills. Can you give me another 20 spirit stones?" Several other cultivators also spoke up one after another. "Fellow Daoist Liu, I have a piece of Bacheo stone. Do you want Liushu stone?" "Brother Liu, Huang is willing to exchange 2 second-grade top-grade water dragon talismans for your piece of red soulstone. Among these items, the most valuable should be the 2 second-grade top-grade water dragon talismans. Yun Zuxan's 2 low-grade gathering spirit pills are also valuable, but he wants Liu Jiangheng to give him another 20 spirit stones, so he is the person who offers the lowest price." However, Liu Jiangheng thought for a moment, and pushed the jade box in his hand to Yun Zuxan with his spiritual power, and took out another 20 spiritual stones. "Brother Yun is now amazing. 2 gathering spirit pills can be easily taken out." Yun Zuxan also used his spiritual power to send the jade bottle containing the gathering spirit pill to the table next to Liu Jiangheng. "Brother Liu, you are too kind. I just benefited from the younger generation." Everyone looked at Yun Zuxan and Yun Zuxan with envy, and most of them looked at Yun Yongzhu with burning eyes, wishing that this young alchemist was from their family. The first spiritual object was successfully traded, and then it became lively. Almost every cultivator would take out 1 or 2 spiritual objects to trade. Spiritual herbs, mineral materials, monster skins and other items appeared in an endless stream. Yun Yongzhu couldn't help but be a little surprised. He didn't expect that these foundation building cultivators who came from casual cultivation would have so many spiritual objects on them. Zio Jiu is wrong. Although most of the casual cultivators in the key training stage have nothing, it is not easy to make money as long as they reach the foundation building stage. And as long as you are willing to spend time searching, there are plenty of spiritual objects. But this is all cheap for one Bayou Pavilion and R5 families. Only when these materials are in our hands can they play their due value. So that's why, no wonder that except for the cultivators of the foundation building family in Yunzhou, most of the people traded some second level materials, and there were almost no finished magic tools, spiritual tools, talismans, and elixirs. Although there were many second level spiritual medicine materials, monster materials, and refining materials, Yun Yongzhu only exchanged a low grade dueling pill for a marrow cleansing grass, which is one of the main ingredients for refining the marrow cleansing pill. Not long after Yun Yongzhu exchanged for the marrow cleansing grass, about half an hour after the transaction, a foundation building cultivator who looked only 10 years old stood up. Xiaojiu, this is fellow Daoist Li, who is in the middle stage of foundation building. He accidentally took a spiritual medicine when he was a child and has remained a child ever since. Fellow Daoist Li looks young, but he is actually over 160 years old. Excuse me, fellow Daoists from Yunzhou, I have 3 spiritual objects in my hand that I need to trade. Then he took out 3 items from his storage bag, a jade box made of second level spiritual jade, an unknown black stone, and a small jade bottle. Everyone, this black stone is obsidian, and the jade bottle contains second level low grade poisonous water refined from the miasma unique to the poison dragon pond. It seems that this unprepossessing cultivator surnamed Li is a ruthless character who dared to go to the poison dragon pond to refine the miasma. The Poison Dragon Pond is a dangerous place in Yunzhou, not far from the 10,000 Flowers Valley. It is filled with miasma, and there are many poisonous flowers and plants, as well as poisonous insects and beasts, so it is very dangerous. As for the contents of this jade box, I will trade them after I have traded the obsidian and the miasma poisonous water. I only need the elixir that can improve my cultivation level. Please make an offer, fellow Taoists. After he finished speaking, he bowed slightly to everyone and returned to his seat very politely. However, Yun Yongzhu felt very funny when he saw his little adult appearance, but he did not show it. This obsidian is of the second grade upper grade. It can be used to refine magic tools and spiritual tools, as well as to refine array formations. It is really rare. The miasma poisonous water has many uses. It can be used to assist in the practice of poison skills and poison related magic, and it can also be used to refine poison pills. As soon as the cultivator surnamed Li finished speaking, cultivators started to offer their prices one after another. Fellow Daoist Li, can I exchange 2 low grade Ziniyuan pills for your obsidian? 2 low grade Huang pills for obsidian, please consider it. 1 medium grade Bixu pill. After all, the price of Jiling pills is relatively expensive, and the quantity is limited, so the foundation building cultivators in Yunzhou usually buy other second level spiritual pills from Wanbei Pavilion and Bixu Pavilion. Although these pills can also improve the cultivation of foundation building cultivators, their efficacy is inferior to Jiling pills in many ways. Even the Bixu pills, which are unique to Bixu Pavilion, are slightly inferior to Jiling pills. Therefore, in the end, the obsidian was taken by Yunzhuxuan with a medium grade Jiling pill, and the bottle of second level poisonous water was exchanged by a strange cultivator covered in black cloth. After trading the above 2 items, the monk surnamed Li continued, the jade box I have contains a spiritual medicine, but I'm short-sighted and have not found any record of this spiritual herb in the classics, so I don't know what kind of spiritual medicine it is. Please take a look. This kind of thing is quite common. After all, although these monks have luckily established their foundation, they are still casual cultivators. They don't have a rich collection of spiritual materials and classics, and it is common for them to fail to identify some rare spiritual medicines. However, even if they can't recognize what kind of spiritual medicine it is, it doesn't prevent the monk surnamed Li from seeing that this spiritual medicine is a second level or higher spiritual medicine. Seeing that he uses a second level spiritual jade to hold the unknown spiritual medicine, they can know something. Everyone curiously focused their eyes on the tea table next to the monk surnamed Li's seat. They saw him use his spiritual power to wipe off the seal on the surface of the jade box, to prevent the loss of spiritual power and medicinal properties, and then reached out to open the lid of the box. It was a spiritual herb with a dark blue body, full of spiritual energy, and very eye-catching. In just 1 or 2 breaths, the monk surnamedly closed the jade box again. Soul-nourishing grass. Although the time was short, Yun Yongzhu recognized this spiritual herb at a glance. He participated in this trade fair just to join in the fun, but he didn't expect to get an unexpected surprise. It was really beyond Yun Yongzhu's expectations and surprised him. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 291, Soul Nourishing Grass. Of course, Yun Yongzhu was not the only one who reacted quickly. Besides him, there were other knowledgeable people present, including Li Yunhei from the Wanbei Pavilion of Qingshan sect. As the chief shopkeeper of Wanbei Pavilion in Yongzhou, he was even more knowledgeable. This is the soul nourishing grass. Nangang Yingyu even covered her red lips with her bare hands and exclaimed, "Fairy Nangang, you also recognize this as the soul nourishing grass? Since even Fairy Nangang thinks this is the soul nourishing grass, then I must have made a mistake. I thought this was Yinning grass. It's not Yinning grass. I didn't expect that we in Yongzhou actually had such a precious spiritual herb as the soul nourishing grass." The cultivators who recognized this spiritual herb spoke up one after another. Although the name of this spiritual herb had been revealed by several people, some people still showed a puzzled expression. Obviously they had never heard of this precious spiritual herb. Fairy Nangang, what is this soul nourishing grass? As the owner of this soul nourishing grass, Nangang Yingyu would certainly not ignore the question of the cultivator surnamed Li, and the other cultivators who were originally casual cultivators also pricked up their ears and listened carefully. Fellow Daoist Li, the soul nourishing grass is a main ingredient for refining the soul nourishing pill, and the cultivators who take the soul nourishing pill can nourish the soul, strengthen the cultivator's primordial spirit, and increase the cultivator's spiritual consciousness. After hearing this, everyone took a breath of cold air, because they had never heard of any spiritual medicine that could nourish and strengthen the cultivator's soul. They all looked at the foundation building cultivator surnamed Li, who was only about 3 feet 6 in height, with envy. Even the most ignorant people know that the growth of the power of the soul will have many benefits, such as a longer and wider range of spiritual consciousness, more efficient cultivation, faster practice of magic, etc., which will undoubtedly make the cultivator's future path more long-term. Logically speaking, as long as it is a flesh and blood life, it has a primordial spirit and soul power, which is manifested as spiritual consciousness, which can detect scenes, people, breath, movement, etc. in all directions. However, during the key training period, the farthest distance of the spiritual consciousness is only 5 feet in radius. Of course, this does not include very few people with outstanding spiritual consciousness like Yun Yongzhu. However, there are almost no spiritual cultivation methods in the world of immortal cultivation, and even magical powers and spells are extremely rare, so there is no effective way to increase spiritual consciousness. Generally, one can only practice hard, and the improvement of the physical realm will naturally feed back to the soul. Yun Yongzhu observed the expression of the owner of the soul nourishing grass and reminded him, "Friendly, this soul nourishing grass cannot be taken directly, otherwise it will be incurable." He did not lie, but just exaggerated a little. In fact, there are very few spiritual medicines and spiritual herbs that can be taken directly, and most of them are slightly toxic. Soul nourishing grass can nourish the soul, and it can be eaten raw without processing. It does have benefits, but it also has disadvantages. Although it is not as incurable as Yun Yongzhu said, its toxicity is not easy to eliminate. Thank you for your reminder, fellow Daoist Yun. As a cultivator in the foundation building stage who has lived for more than 160 years, Li Xianyang certainly knows some common sense about spiritual medicine. It's the same as before. This soul nourishing grass can only be exchanged for elixirs that improve cultivation. What do you think of a top grade soul gathering pill, fellow Daoist Li? Yun Yongzhu finally came across this soul nourishing pill, and of course he couldn't miss it. The value of a top grade soul gathering pill in Yunzhou is at least 330 yuan. He asked himself if the price he offered was high enough. Although the foundation building cultivator surnamed Li was very satisfied, he still looked at other people. Seeing that no one bid, he handed the jade box in his hand to Yun Yongzhu. This is actually very easy to understand. Although the soul nourishing grass is precious, it is only a second grade high quality spiritual grass. It does not have much impact on ordinary cultivators. Only in the hands of an alchemist can the value of the soul nourishing grass be reflected. Yun Yongzhu happily put the soul nourishing grass into his storage bag and planned to start refining it when he returned to Yunwu Mountain. Junior brother Yun, the soul nourishing pill has been refined. If there are extra, can you share one with me? You won't lose any spiritual stones. Yun Yongzhu didn't expect Nangan Yingyu to suddenly say this in a voice transmission. After a short pause, he replied to her. Senior sister Nangang, I have never refined this soul nourishing pill. I guess the success rate is not high. If there are extra, I will leave one for you. In fact, Yun Yongzhu didn't intend to leave the soul nourishing pill for Nangan Yingyu. He didn't even have enough for himself, so how could he share it with others? He said this just to be polite so as not to embarrass the other party. However, his refusal was very obvious. Nangan Yingyu seemed to feel his abruptness and didn't speak again. Yun Yongzhu originally had a vague affection for Nangan Yingyu. After all, she was the most beautiful female cultivator Yun Yongzhu had ever seen. At this time, he was unwilling to share the precious elixir. He realized that he was just fascinated by her beauty and didn't want her to be his other half in his heart. Yun Yongzhu harvested a soul nourishing grass and was very happy. With a fluke mentality, he took out another elixir jade bottle and placed it on the tea table next to him. Then he stood up and bowed slightly to everyone in the room. Fellow Daoists, I still have some wood flame pills in stock. Although they are not as good as the soul gathering pills, one pill can save me 4 months of hard training. I want to exchange for some second level spiritual medicines. If any Daoist has 9-leaf vitality grass, bone flower, 1000-year snow bone ginseng, 100-year scrofularia, marrow cleansing grass, marrow refining flower, harmony grass, 9-flame flower, 100-year ganoderma lucidum, 100-year polygonatum, 100-year polygonatum, etc. You can use them to exchange. As he expected, although everyone looked at the bottle of pills on the table eagerly, no one stood up to trade with him. Even the 42-year soul gathering grass is very rare, let alone spiritual medicines over 100 years old. Yun Yongzhu was not too disappointed. He put away the wood flame pills and signaled the next Daoist to start trading. The trade fair has almost come to an end. Only a few people have not brought out spiritual objects to trade, but everyone has harvested the spiritual objects they need and is very satisfied, especially Li Xianyang, the cultivator surnamed Li who brought out the soul nourishing grass. When the last 2 people took out the spiritual objects and completed the transaction, they all wanted to leave, so they stood up and said goodbye. Yun Yongzhu wanted to go with the 2 great-grandfathers, but he was told to stay by several people. He had to explain the situation to Yun Zuxun and let them go first. In less than half a minute, there were only 4 people left in the reception room that was originally full. In addition to Yun Yongzhu, there were 3 others, namely Lan Fengxin, whom Yun Yongzhu just met today, and Liu Jiangheng, the supreme elder of Wu'ai Valley. He only knew that the other one was surnamed Wang, but he was not a member of the Lotus Mountain clan. These 3 people were the ones who sent messages to Yun Yongzhu to stay. As for Lan Fengxin and the cultivator surnamed Wang, Yun Yongzhu roughly guessed that it was because of the alchemy quota, but the fact that the supreme elder of Wu'ai Valley stopped him made him puzzled. Chapter 292 Commission. Liu Jiangheng was a cultivator in the late stage of foundation building, and he was also an elder, so Yun Yongzhu naturally could not look down on him. He first asked the great elder of Wu'ai Valley, Senior Liu, is there something you want me to stay for? Liu Jiangheng showed disapproval and waved his hand. Yunwu Mountain and Wu'ai Valley are now relatives, and calling me Senior Liu is too distant. I should be of the same generation as your 2 great-grandfathers. You can call me Grandpa Liu. If you don't mind, I can call you Nephew Yun. Yun Yongzhu had no objection, since the other party was of the same generation as the two great-grandfathers. Calling him grandpa would raise his own generation. Grandpa Liu, what is the errand you called me for? Liu Jiangheng denied it repeatedly. I dare not send you. I don't have the face to ask you to do that. It's just that a batch of soul gathering grass in my Wuya Valley spiritual medicine garden is about to mature. I want to ask you to refine it into soul gathering pills. What do you think? Of course, but what about the reward? Hearing Yun Yongzhu's agreement, Liu Jiangheng was overjoyed and asked Yun Yongzhu to deal with other people's affairs first, and then slowly discuss the reward. Nephew Yun, please solve the problems of these two Taoist friends first, and then discuss the matter of soul gathering pills with me in detail. I will definitely not let you suffer a loss. Yun Yongzhu thought that, since the other party said that it was a batch of soul gathering grass, the number must be not low, and the reward must be discussed slowly, so he looked at the other two cultivators in the room. Fairy Lan, fellow Daoist Wang, is it for the quota of alchemy? Exactly. Yes. The two answered in unison, looked at each other, and cultivator Wang politely gestured to Lan Fengson to speak first. Thank you. Lan Fengson bowed slightly to thank the other party, and then said to Yun Yongzhu, fellow Daoist Yun, I have already taken the quota for this alchemy. Can you make the elixir I want? Fairy Lan, Yun will not beat around the bush with you. Nothing is absolute, and words cannot be too full. I can only say that the probability of success is about 60-70%. If you are sure you want to refine this elixir, I will take it. If it fails, I will return to the sect and exchange another set of materials for you. The reason why Yun Yongzhu was confident was because of the Qingshan sect. Even though this Huan iron flower was very precious and rare, it was in stock in the Qingshan sect. With his identity and cultivation, he could naturally exchange it for a certain price. Hearing Yun Yongzhu say this, Lan Fengson had nothing to say. She took out a jade card and a talisman from her storage bag, and handed a small bag from her waist to Yun Yongzhu. Fellow Daoist Yun, I'll leave everything to you. The recipe and materials are all in here. I'll wait for your news at the foot of Yunwu Mountain. The jade token was naturally the certificate for the alchemy quota, and the talisman was a communication talisman with the aura of Lan Fengson. After that, Lan Fengson bowed to the three people, and left the reception room. Fellow Daoist Yun, Wang wants to ask you to refine a furnace of Jiling pills. This is the Jiling grass and the certificate for the alchemy quota. Please check it. Yun Yongzhu scanned it with his spiritual sense, and confirmed that it was the jade token for the alchemy quota auctioned at the auction. He also looked at the Jiling grass, and found that it was old enough, so he put the jade box and the jade token into the storage bag. Fellow Daoist Wang, why don't you go to our Yun family magic weapon shop and wait? When I go back, I will open the furnace and refine it for you directly, which will save you a trip to Yunwu Mountain. That's the best. Then Wang will go and wait for fellow Daoist Yun first. The cultivator surnamed Wang bowed to Liu Jiangheng and left. Only Yun Yongzhu and Liu Jiangheng were left in the room. My nephew Yun is really enviable. Grandpa Liu, you are too kind. Let's talk about the reward for refining the soul gathering pill first. Let my nephew Yun know that there are 100 soul gathering grasses in my Wuya Valley. I'm willing to use 30 of them as the reward for nephew Yun to open the furnace. What do you think? Yun Yongzhu was secretly shocked after hearing this 100 soul gathering grasses. This is really a lot. It is worthy of being a spiritual field family with 1,000 years of inheritance. It should be known that soul gathering grass is a second level lower grade spiritual grass. The spiritual field planted must be at least second level lower grade, and it must be continuously invested with spiritual stones for nourishment and careful care, otherwise it will be difficult to survive. Yunwu Mountain also grows soul gathering grass, of course, but there are only 20 plants, and these are the limit of Yunwu Mountain. Yun Yongzhu shook his head and did not agree to the price offered by Liu Jiangheng. To be honest with you, Grandpa Liu, I have only been building my foundation for a short time, so the success rate of refining the soul gathering pill is very low, but the success rate is more than 60%, and the quality of the pill is not bad. Yun Yongzhu was telling the truth. Now his soul gathering pill success rate is only 10% or 20%. One set of materials can make up for 3 pills at most, and that is a rare case. Generally, only 1 pill is produced. But his success rate and the quality of the pills are enough to make up for the disadvantage of the low success rate. Liu Jiangheng knew that Yun Yongzhu had just advanced to the foundation building stage, so he guessed that Yun Yongzhu's level of refining the soul gathering pill was not high, so he offered 30 soul gathering grasses. This price is indeed very low. After all, according to the established rules, when asking an alchemist to open the furnace, it is generally opened once, and the labor fee of the cost of 1 furnace of pills is charged. Precious pills need to be negotiated separately. Now this soul gathering pill is a pill that needs to be negotiated. After all, the materials of a soul gathering pill are about 400 lingxi. Seeing that Yun Yongzhu did not agree with his offer, he heard what Yun Yongzhu said. This nephew Yun didn't lie to me, did he? Liu Jiangheng seemed to be unable to believe it. Although he knew nothing about alchemy, he also knew how difficult it was. After all, Yun Yongzhu had indeed established his foundation not long ago. It is absolutely true. My master is a 3rd level top grade alchemist. Besides, lying will not do me any good. Yun Yongzhu's tone was quite proud. His master was his backer and supporter. He was very proud to be able to be his master's disciple. Although his alchemy talent was his own and his alchemy skills were also obtained by his own ability, the title of a 3rd level top grade alchemist was undoubtedly loud and authoritative. When he heard Yun Yongzhu mention his master, Liu Jiangheng's heart suddenly became solemn, and he nodded repeatedly. What does nephew Yun think? Yun Yongzhu thought for a moment, then said to Liu Jiangheng, Grandpa Liu, why don't you send these 100 soul gathering grasses to Yunwu Mountain, and I will give you 30 soul gathering pills directly after refining them, regardless of the grade. How about that? In this way, even if all 30 soul gathering pills are low grade pills, they are worth at least 5,250 spirit stones. This is not as much as the income from retailing 100 soul gathering grasses, but it takes a long time to retail 100 soul gathering grasses. And if it is sold wholesale, the price is naturally not as much as retail, and it may not even sell for 5,250 spirit stones. Even if so many spirit stones can be sold, it is obvious which is more important between the soul grass and the soul pill. In Yun Yongzhu's opinion, the benefits he has given should be enough. If you think about it carefully, you will know that under normal circumstances, even if Wuya Valley harvests soul gathering grass, it can only sell it to Wanbei Pavilion and Bixu Pavilion at a low price. Or go to other states and sell it to forces and families with 2nd level alchemists, and the price may not be higher. Liu Jiangheng could not have thought that Yun Yongzhu was so shrewd and calculating at such a young age. Just as Yun Yongzhu thought, although the soul gathering grass was a 2nd level low grade spiritual medicine, the retail price of 1 plant was only about 60 spiritual stones at most. Most of the time, it was sold to Wanbei Pavilion or Bixu Pavilion at a very low price. It was actually lucky for the Liu family to meet Yun Yongzhu when the spiritual grass matured this time. The soul gathering grass was only a spiritual medicine material, but the soul gathering pill was a finished pill. The value of the two was very different. Nephew Yun, can you let me consider it again? Liu Jiangheng frowned slightly, still a little dissatisfied, but Yun Yongzhu was of noble status and had the support of King Shen and Jinden Zenren. Even though he was powerful, he did not dare to be rude. Of course you can. Grandpa Liu, just go back to Wuya Valley and think about it slowly. I'm not in a hurry. However, I propose this plan because the two families are relatives. It is impossible to have a higher plan. When you have thought it through, just go to Yunwu Mountain to find me. That's all I have to say. I still have to go and refine the elixir for fellow Daoist Wang, so I'll take my leave first. Please give me a reward on Kaiu. I can't receive rewards on other platforms. Chapter 293, Show off your skills. After Yun Yongzhu finished speaking, he let Liu Jiangheng think slowly and left the large reception room alone. He wanted to go downstairs to find the manager on the 1st floor of Wanbei Pavilion to buy some auxiliary medicines for refining the soul gathering pill, but he ran into Li Yunhei who was waiting for him on the 2nd floor. Junior brother Yun, are you going back now? I'll take you there. Senior brotherly, I just happened to go to the manager on the first floor to purchase a batch of spiritual medicines. It's just right. Can you help me arrange it? It's Milner, junior brother Yun. If you need any spiritual medicine, just tell me. There are more than 200 kinds of materials for refining the soul gathering pill. Yun Yongzhu certainly won't tell them orally. He took out a jade slip that he bought the materials for refining the soul gathering pill and handed it to Li Yunhei. Senior brotherly, except for the soul gathering grass, you should prepare the spiritual medicines recorded on this jade slip for me. Prepare 12 portions of each spiritual medicine for me. 12 portions of materials for the soul gathering pill may sound small, but it is actually not a small number. Apart from the main ingredient of the soul gathering pill, the soul gathering grass, the auxiliary ingredients of a soul gathering pill are worth at least 340 spirit stones, which means an expenditure of more than 4,000 spirit stones. Yun Yongzhu was sure that, even if Liu Jiangheng did not look for him today, he would go to Yunwu Mountain to look for him next time. After all, the other party did not have much choice, and only with him could he gain greater benefits. It was a pity that he had too little money, so he could only buy so many spiritual medicine materials, and the rest he would have to wait for Wu'ai Valley to find him, and then ask the family for help. In this way, even if Wu'ai Valley did not decide to give him the 100 soul gathering grasses in the end, Yun Yongzhu would be able to consume them quickly. Junior brother Yun, please follow the waiter to the VIP room and wait. Let me prepare. These were more than 2,700 spiritual medicines, and it would take some time to pick and store them. Brotherly, please prepare another batch of the same spiritual medicine materials for me, but all the spiritual medicines must be of the best quality and the oldest age. Do you understand what I mean? Yun Yongzhu bought a rare 42-year-old spiritual gathering grass from Wu'ai Valley at the auction. This batch of high quality auxiliary medicine materials was specially prepared for this spiritual medicine. Brother Yun, don't worry. I understand what you mean. Please sit for a while. I'll be back soon. Yun Yongzhu followed a guy in the late stage of key training into an elegant room on the second floor. He practiced the refining process of the soul nourishing pill in his mind. He waited for about an incense stick of time before he waited for Li Yunhei to come back. After checking the number of spiritual medicines, especially the quality of the spiritual medicine that was specially instructed, he was very satisfied. After asking for the payment, he took out 4398 spiritual stones and gave them to Li Yunhei. Junior brother Yun, I don't have much of the 3 kinds of spiritual medicines here: Lingli thistle, Jialing grass, and Tunganaderma. If you want to buy more, you can only wait for half a year for the sect to deliver the spiritual medicines. If you are in a hurry, you have to go to Wanbei Pavilion in Kangzhou and Lanzhou. I know. Thank you for telling me, senior brotherly. This is a problem. Yun Yongzhu didn't expect that there are so few spiritual medicine materials in Yunzhou. After bidding farewell to Li Yunhei, he returned to his own shop with familiarity. The cultivator surnamed Wang had been waiting for him for a long time. When he saw him enter the door, he hurriedly stood up. 9 great-grandfather, 25th great-grandfather. Brother Wang has been waiting for a long time. Yun will refine the gathering spirit pill for you. Please wait for another 3 hours. Yun Yongzhu greeted the 2 great-grandfathers first, and then greeted the cultivator surnamed Wang. Xiaojiu, go ahead. Let's exchange some experiences with Daoist Wang about magic. Although the cultivator surnamed Wang was a casual cultivator, he was a foundation building cultivator. The Yun family would certainly not neglect him. Yun Zuxin and the others entertained him while discussing their experiences in cultivation. Yun Yongzhu went into the backyard without any worries. As he walked in, he could still hear the envy of the cultivator surnamed Wang. You 2 Daoists are really enviable. You have a younger generation disciple like you. In less than 3 hours, Yun Yongzhu came out of the backyard with a white jade bottle in his hand. The cultivator surnamed Wang stood up and looked at the pill bottle in Yun Yongzhu's hand expectantly. Daoist Wang, the furnace was opened smoothly this time. 2 soul gathering pills were produced, one of medium and one of low grade. He raised the jade bottle and shook it gently, then handed it to the other party. The cultivator surnamed Wang was overjoyed after hearing this, and tightly grasped the small jade bottle in his hand. This time he made a lot of money. He bought a soul gathering pill worth more than 400 spirit stones for 300 spirit stones. Yun Yongzhu looked at the other person's expression and thought to himself that it would not be long before the other person could not help but spread the news. After all, no matter how solitary a cultivator is, he will always have one or two close friends. How could this person bear not to share and show off with others when he earned more than 100 spirit stones out of thin air? As long as he said it, this matter would definitely spread to the ears of all the foundation building cultivators in Yunzhou. Even if this person is tight-lipped and has no desire to share or show off, their Yun family will naturally spread the news out kindly. At that time, people who want to ask someone to refine pills will naturally think of him. And this is one of Yun Yongzhu's purposes. As for this alchemy quota, there should be no more in the future, and even if there is, there will be no promises. After all, he has just come into contact with and refined 2 second level pills, and his level is here. He was a little surprised that he could produce 2 spirit gathering pills this time. In the past, a furnace of pills could only produce 1 pill, and occasionally 2 or 3 pills were produced, which was very rare. The reason why he promised to make more than 2 second level pills was mainly because he had the confidence, and he and his family could cover for him. In order to spread his reputation as an alchemist, this small risk is worth taking once. The monk surnamed Wang couldn't help but pull open the stopper of the pill jade bottle and take a look inside. Seeing that there were indeed 2 pills lying quietly inside, he was relieved. Thank you, Master Yun, but after looking at the pills, the other party still had a smile on his face, but he had some questions. Fellow Daoist Wang, you can say whatever you want. Then I will ask you directly. This Jiling pill Wang has also purchased Wanbao Pavilion and Bixu Pavilion, but I have never seen a pill with a pattern on it. It turned out to be because of this. Yun Yongzhu suddenly realized. Don't worry, fellow Daoist Wang. The cloud pattern on this pill is just a mark made by Yun using a special refining technique. It will not affect the efficacy of the pill. As long as it has this mark, it means that it is the pill I made. Yun Yongzhu and the other 2 also nodded and took out the pills in their storage bags to prove it for Yun Yongzhu. Fellow Daoist Wang, please look. These are all the soul gathering pills refined by Xiaojiu. Each of them has a cloud pattern on it. Don't worry, fellow Daoist Wang. With the 2 people's testimony, the cultivator surnamed Wang was relieved. After all, the 2 parties did not know each other, and the other party should not deliberately harm him. After thanking Yun Yongzhu again and again, the cultivator surnamed Wang happily said goodbye to the 3 people and left. Chapter 294 Zhao Lei is born. After the monk surnamed Wang left, Yun Yongzhu and the other 3 also said goodbye to Yun Shilin and returned to Yunwu Mountain. This time, Yun Yongzhu again summoned the black-sailed boat to take the other 3. Because Yun Yongzhu had just finished refining a furnace of Jiling pills, he went into the cabin to meditate and restore his spiritual power. As soon as he got on the black-sailed boat, when he opened his eyes again, the black-sailed boat was almost at the entrance of the mountain. Brother, you are finally out. We are almost home. As soon as Yun Yongbei finished speaking, the black-sailed boat passed through the mountain protection formation of Yunwu Mountain and stopped at the entrance of Yun Yongzhu's cave in a few breaths. Xiaojiu, you go back first and leave the rest to us. The spiritual stones for the auction of the elixir had been delivered clearly at the Wanbao Pavilion. Yun Yongzhu was also anxious to refine the Yanghan pill, so he didn't say anything. In this case, I will trouble the 2 great-grandfathers. Grandfather 9 and Grandfather 25th. Thank you for your hard work. The 2 brothers watched the black-sailed boat take off and go down the mountain, and then turned to enter Fiyu Palace. The city is really lively, but it's a pity that we only stayed there for such a short time. 5 days is not enough for you to be wild. Since you have seen the prosperity of the main city, you should practice hard and stop thinking about playing. Yun Yongzhu habitually admonished his younger brother. After a few steps, they arrived at Fian Hall. He gave a few more instructions and asked Yun Yongbei to do his own things and then continued to walk deeper into the bamboo garden. What Yun Yongzhu wanted to do most now was to open the furnace to refine the soul nourishing pill. After all, this pill formula has been in his hands for a full 18 years, and he has already figured it out. However, when he entered the bamboo garden, he went to the hut where the Thunder Eagle eggs were hatched first. He hadn't checked it for 5 days, and he didn't know how it was doing. Yun Yongzhu calculated in his mind that it had been 4 months since he hatched this spirit beast egg. In a few days, it would also break out of the shell. Before Yun Yongzhu entered the hatching room, he suddenly felt a familiar throbbing, and it was the Thunder Eagle egg that was moving. Yun Yongzhu untied the restrictions he had set, and felt more sensitive. He felt that the vitality of the Thunder Eagle egg was stronger. The little Thunder Eagle sensed the breath of a familiar person, and its weak life consciousness was full of urgency and help, wanting to get out of the thick eggshell. Feeling that all the spiritual energy in the room was gathering towards the Thunder Eagle egg, Yun Yongzhu noticed something unusual. He lifted the soft animal skin and saw that all the spiritual stones under the animal skin were dim and about to run out of spiritual power. So he quickly took out another 100 spiritual stones and placed them around the hatching nest. He secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, he came back in time. Otherwise it would be extremely difficult for the Thunder Eagle to hatch if the spiritual power was insufficient. With the help of this batch of spiritual stones, the little creature in the Thunder Eagle egg was like a god. Crack. With this tiny cracking sound, a long crack appeared on the surface of a huge Thunder Eagle egg. Xiaolei, come on. With the encouragement of Yun Yongzhu, the master, the little Thunder Eagle was even more restless in the eggshell. Heh, heh, heh. After a few pecks, the crack broke into a small hole, and a pointed beak appeared from inside. Heh. After another fierce peck, a faint lightning flashed, and a wet bird head poked out from the gap, eyes wide open, tilting its head, and staring at Yun Yongzhu with one black eye. Cry. Cry. The little Thunder Eagle's gentle chirping was full of intimacy and dependence, as if it regarded Yun Yongzhu as its own bird. This was not only because Yun Yongzhu and the Thunder Eagle signed a contract and controlled the spirit formation, but also because he would take time to come and see the Thunder Eagle every day during the period of hatching, even when he was refining the elixir, so the little Thunder Eagle was very familiar with Yun Yongzhu's breath. Good job, little Thunder, come out quickly. Only the head of the little Thunder Eagle was exposed, and its body was still in the eggshell. Yun Yongzhu did not step forward to help, but just watched quietly and encouraged. The little Thunder Eagle kicked its feet hard, struggling for a while, trying to jump out of the eggshell directly, but it was unable to do anything with the thick eggshell that wrapped it. Finally, under the guidance of Yun Yongzhu, the little Thunder Eagle retracted its head back into the eggshell and used its hard and sharp beak to peck the eggshell a little bit, and then it came out of the eggshell. From this, we can see the extraordinary intelligence of the Thunder Eagle. In fact, the problem can be seen from the incubation period of the Thunder Eagle. It only took 1 month to hatch the soul-devouring golden cicada, 1.5 months to hatch the treasure-hunting butterfly, and 2 months to hatch the purple jade bee. However, this Thunder Eagle took more than 4 months to hatch. This is because Yun Yongzhu provides spiritual stones for the Thunder Eagle eggs every month, otherwise the incubation period would be longer. This can also directly show the future development of the 4. The soul-devouring golden cicada, the treasure-hunting butterfly and the purple jade bee should only be cultivated to the 2nd level upper grade. If you want them to advance again, it is estimated to be extremely difficult without adventures or sufficient resources. As for the Thunder Eagle, it is not a big problem to cultivate it to the 3rd level. The only thing that is more difficult than the spiritual insects is the time. This can also be solved with the help of spiritual medicine resources. However, it is not easy to advance to the 4th level. The little Thunder Eagle has just hatched. It is still very small, far less than the 1-meter Thunder Eagle egg. It looks only slightly larger than a mature Lingayan chicken. The fluff on the little Thunder Eagle covers its chubby little body, but the fluff is all wet and tightly attached to its body. However, because the Thunder Eagle is a 3rd level spiritual beast, when it grows up, it has just hatched and is already a 1st level high quality spiritual beast with spiritual energy all over its body. After it left the sticky eggshell, it staggered and trembled and turned its little body and began to peck at the eggshell and egg liquid in the hatching nest, looking very cute. Yun Yongzhu watched intently and did not try to stop it. He knew that the eggshells and egg liquid contained rich nutrition and spiritual power, which would be good for the young eagle. As the eggshells and egg liquid were eaten, the little thunder eagle also underwent amazing changes. It was seen that hard feathers, flight feathers and tail feathers gradually grew out of its furry body, and its entire body was gradually growing. It didn't take long for Yun Yongzhu to see it eat all the eggshells and egg liquid in the hatching nest, and the little thunder was no longer wet and cute when it just hatched. It had a little momentum that a thunder eagle should have. It turned around, and its pair of vivid copper bell eyes looked at Yun Yongzhu eagerly, and its mouth followed the chirping of Li. A pair of plump wings spread out, more than 1 meter long, and with a light flap, it flew up and pounced on Yun Yongzhu. Yun Yongzhu stretched out his arms at the right time, and the thunder eagle just grabbed it with its claws and stopped. "Xiao Lei, you're quite heavy," Yun Yongzhu said to Lei Ying with a chuckle. Xiao Lei rubbed his head against Yun Yongzhu's cheek and neck affectionately, with low chirping coming from his mouth. Chapter 295 Thunder Eagle Advancement. Yun Yongzhu not only signed a master-servant contract with the Thunder Eagle, but also set up a spirit-controlling magic circle for it. Of course, he could understand the meaning of Xiao Lei's cry. "Xiao Lei, don't worry, I have prepared something good for you." While comforting the Thunder Eagle, he raised his arm and walked out of the hut. Yun Yongzhu was actually talking about the 3rd grade upper grade spirit fruit, the Thunder Yuan fruit, that Huang Chengsheng gave him. After the little Thunder Eagle ate his eggshell and egg liquid, not only did its grade reach the upper limit of the 1st grade upper grade, but it was also full of spiritual light, and its body expanded by more than 2 times. It can be predicted that once Xiao Lei eats the Thunder Yuan fruit, his body will definitely change even more. In order to avoid the embarrassing situation that the Thunder Eagle could not get out of the house, Yun Yongzhu wanted to take it out of the house before feeding it the spirit fruit. Cry, cry. As soon as the Thunder Eagle left the house, it called happily. Yun Yongzhu pushed his arm hard, and the Thunder Eagle spread its wings and flapped hard along with the force, and then it easily leaped up and circled over the bamboo garden. After flying for about half an hour and touring the entire cave, Xiao Lei fell rapidly from the air and returned to Yun Yongzhu's arm, retracting the thin arcs of electricity all over his body. Cry, cry. "Okay, I got it. I'll get it for you right away." At Xiao Lei's urging, Yun Yongzhu placed the Thunder Eagle on the stone table in the yard, then took out a sealed jade box and removed the seal on the surface of the box. As soon as he opened the jade box, the Thunder Eagle cried out in excitement, obviously knowing that this spiritual fruit with a purple spiritual light would be of great benefit to it. Seeing Xiao Lei unable to restrain himself from rushing to the Thunder Yuan fruit in the jade box, Yun Yongzhu did not stop him, as it was originally for him. Xiao Lei smoothly swallowed the whole Thunder Yuan fruit, which was as big as a spiritual peach, into his stomach, without the embarrassing situation of getting his throat stuck. Cry, cry. In just a few breaths, the little Thunder Eagle's body surged with violent spiritual power fluctuations, and light purple arcs flashed from time to time. It seemed to be in great pain, the whole bird was unstable, and it was also crying loudly. The scene that followed made him even more worried. The main feathers, flight feathers and tail feathers, that had just grown on the Thunder Eagle began to fall off, and there was a conspicuous and glaring bright red blood at the roots of the feathers. Yun Yongzhu could only watch at the edge of the stone table, and there was nothing he could do. Fortunately, in just a short while, harder feathers grew back from the feather tubes, where the feathers fell off. The so-called main feathers are the harder feathers that grow on the body of birds and spirit beasts other than down feathers. Flight feathers refer to the feathers that grow on the wings. Tail feathers are the feathers that grow on the tail. These new feathers are not the original pure white color, but with a light purple color, which is very dazzling and eye-catching. Yun Yongzhu thought that, if these feathers were plucked, they should be able to be refined into 2 or 3 flying spiritual tools. Cry, cry. As if sensing what Yun Yongzhu was thinking, the Thunder Eagle could not wait to fly into the air just after its feathers had grown. After it flew into the air, its body suddenly swelled up and became extremely huge. Its wings were nearly 4 meters long when spread out. A large shadow enveloped Yun Yongzhu, and its momentum was very amazing. He couldn't help but feel lucky that he didn't feed the Thunder Eagle the Thunder Yun fruit in the house, otherwise it would be difficult to get out. As the arc flashed, Yun Yongzhu only felt a flash in front of his eyes, and the Thunder Eagle disappeared, and in an instant it appeared dozens of miles away in the air. Thunder escape! He exclaimed in surprise. He didn't expect that the Thunder Eagle's talent was so amazing. It had just advanced to the second level lower grade, and it had a natural magical power. Chapter 296, Great Power. Yun Yongzhu's cave was still too small for the Thunder Eagle. With just one thunder escape, it was about to touch the forbidden barrier of the cave. He flew high into the sky, and then used his spiritual power to break a big hole in the barrier. Cry. As soon as he opened the cave barrier, the Thunder Eagle flew over excitedly. Yun Yongzhu took the opportunity to stand on its back and sit cross-legged. I don't know how fast Xiao Lei can go with his current strength, and how many times he can perform the Thunder Escape divine ability. Xiao Lei, fly. Let me see your fastest speed. Yun Yongzhu patted the hard, light purple feathers on the back of the Thunder Eagle, and he was a little expectant. Before he finished speaking, Xiao Lei flapped his huge wings and flew hundreds of meters away in an instant. Xiao Lei, fly outside. Cry. Yun Yongzhu quickly took out his family ID card and made way for Xiao Lei before the Thunder Eagle hit the mountain protection formation. After leaving Yunwu Mountain, the sky is high and the birds fly freely. The Thunder Eagle flapped its wings vigorously a few times and took Yun Yongzhu to the depths of Yunwu Mountain. Where is this? Xiao Lei, you must remember the way home. I'm not familiar with the depths of this mountain range. Cry. Cry. Hearing the cry of the Thunder Eagle, Yun Yongzhu felt more relieved. Looking around, he saw a rolling mountain range with no end in sight. This mountain range is an important place for obtaining spiritual objects in Yunzhou. Many casual cultivators hunt monsters and collect spiritual medicines in Yunwu Mountain to earn resources for cultivation. Although the family mountain gate Yunwu Mountain is just outside the Yunwu Mountain, Yun Yongzhu has never entered the mountain. When he was a child, because of his low cultivation and young age, although he was at the 7th level of key training, when he first returned to Yunwu Mountain, he was busy refining pills and had no time. As for now, he has reached the foundation building stage and no longer cares about the resources of Yunwu Mountain. After all, although Yunwu Mountain is not short of monsters and spiritual herbs, they require hard work to search for, and they have to fight and compete for them. Cree. The Thunder Eagle under him suddenly cried out excitedly, and then it suddenly dived down rapidly. Yun Yongzhu looked down carefully, and after more than 10 breaths, he saw clearly that he had found a green python. He secretly admired Xiao Lei's eyesight. Feeling Xiao Lei's eagerness, Yun Yongzhu understood that the Thunder Eagle's body had expanded more than 10 times in such a short period of time, and it was naturally in urgent need of food. It was also his fault that he didn't think of it. While he was thinking, the Thunder Eagle had dived from a height of more than 2,000 feet to more than 200 feet, and the green python really came into Yun Yongzhu's eyes. This was a giant python that was 40 or 50 meters long, with a waist that was more than 1 meter thick, and the scales covering its body were green and blue, perfectly blending into the surrounding environment. If it weren't for the reflection of sunlight on its scales, when it was crawling, Yun Yongzhu would not have been able to find its body at all. After realizing that this was a 2nd level inferior green python, Yun Yongzhu secretly became alert. He took out his weapon, the red feather fan, from his dantian in his abdomen, ready to help the Thunder Eagle when it was not strong enough. Unexpectedly, Xiao Lei was so lucky that he found a big guy not long after entering the mountain range. Xiao Lei, let me see your strength. After saying that, Yun Yongzhu left the back of the Thunder Eagle and used the air control technique to support his body. The green python below also discovered the Thunder Eagle in the air with ill intentions. It did not hide or escape, but quickly curled up, raised its snake head high, and stared at the Thunder Eagle coming towards it with its green eyes. The snake's tongue stretched back and forth in its mouth, with a covetous look. The Thunder Eagle's body flashed with light purple arcs, and in a blink of an eye it moved close to the giant python. While the giant python was not able to react, it pecked the snake's head fiercely with its sharp eagle beak. Hiss. The green python was hit, and a bloody hole instantly appeared on its forehead. It screamed and buried its head deep in the curled up snake body. Then it opened its bloody mouth and shot out quickly, trying to bite the big bird. But after the thunder eagle succeeded in its attack, it flew into the sky again, and the giant python's attack failed. The thunder eagle wanted to use the same trick again, using its beak and claws to attack the snake body, but it missed repeatedly. Although the giant python's body was huge, its movements were very flexible. It swung its tail, dodged left and right, and counterattacked with its beak and tail from time to time. The two sides fought back and forth like this, and there was a stalemate for a while. Just when the thunder eagle's attack failed again, the giant python suddenly raised most of its body and spit out a huge black water ball from its bloody mouth to attack the thunder eagle. The thunder eagle was unable to react in time and was swept by the black water ball to the tips of several flying feathers on its left wing. This black water ball was obviously not an ordinary water ball. The feathers were corroded in an instant. If it hadn't been only a little bit, the entire left wing would have been corroded. Yun Yongzhu was shocked when he saw it in midair. He was relieved when he confirmed that the thunder eagle was fine, and then he wanted to help. Cry. However, before Yun Yongzhu could use the red feather fan, he heard the thunder eagle cry angrily. Then, before he could react, he saw Zyrolaya's figure passing by. Then he saw a small white ball hit the giant python, which hissed in pain, and its body was full of flashing arcs of electricity. The thunder eagle used one claw to hold down the thick snake body, and the other claw to cut open the snake's belly. Then, it took out a dark snake gall with its mouth, tilted its neck, and swallowed it down its throat. The snake gall was taken out, so the green python naturally had no chance to survive. It twitched and was pecked off chunks of meat by the thunder eagle's mouth. In a few minutes, it was dead. Yun Yongzhu was stunned. The situation changed too quickly. He said he didn't understand. Cry. The thunder eagle's cry woke Yun Yongzhu up, and he waved his hands quickly. No, I don't want to eat this. Zyrolaya, you can enjoy it yourself. Then Yun Yongzhu seemed to remember something, and took out the soul locking bag. This second level low grade monster spirit couldn't be wasted. It was worth at least 100 spirit stones. Moreover, it was difficult to refine a defensive spiritual weapon by pulling off the skin of the green python, but it was more than enough to refine 3 or 5 defensive magic weapons. After an incense stick, Yun Yongzhu looked at the mess on the ground, speechless. Zyrolaya, why don't you eat some more? The entire python was more than 40 meters long, nearly 50 meters long, but the thunder eagle only ate the thickest and most fleshy part of the python, and the rest was just rotten meat with pits. Lee. Okay, since you don't want to eat it, I'll put it away. After all, it was the meat of a second level low grade monster beast, and the younger brother's spiritual cranes probably wouldn't mind eating Zyrolaya's leftovers. After collecting the remains of the giant python, Yun Yongzhu rode Zyrolaya back to Yunwu Mountain. Chapter 297, Refining Soul Nourishing Pills. More than half an hour later, the man and the beast returned to Yunwu Mountain. Yun Yongzhu had a rough idea of the speed and combat power of the Thunder Eagle. Although Zyrolaya's flying speed was not as fast as the Willow Leaf Shuttle, or even half of its speed, it was faster than the Wupeng boat, and several times faster than Yun Yongzhu's own speed of performing the air control technique. You know, Zyrolaya has just advanced to the second level lower grade, and when it advances again, it is estimated that its speed can be greatly improved. In addition to being able to perform the Thunder Escape magical skill, it can also perform offensive magic similar to the Thunderbolt technique. Most monsters of the same level are not its opponents at all. It can be imagined that this Thunder Eagle will be of great help to Yun Yongzhu in the future. As soon as Yun Yongzhu returned to Yunwu Mountain, he received several communication talismans in succession. It turned out that the two great-grandfathers and Yun Dachan and his wife saw the figure of the Thunder Eagle and sent messages to ask him to restrain the raptor. He took out a few communication talismans and replied to the letter. Then he used a piece of jasper to make a jade talisman for the cave, strung it with a piece of green python's python tendon, and hung it on Zyrolaya's neck. Seeing Zyrolaya shaking his head, Yun Yongzhu thought for a while and strung his 3 first grade high quality storage bag on the python tendon. Zhao Lei, with the Jade Talisman, you can freely pass through the cave. The small bag is a storage magic weapon. If you want to store anything, you can put it in. Try it. Yun Yongzhu took out the green python and put it back into the storage bag. He repeatedly instructed Zhao Lei several times. With the intelligence of the Thunder Eagle, he quickly understood what he meant. Zhao Lei was obviously very interested in the storage bag. He tentatively put the green python corpse that Yun Yongzhu took out into the small bag hanging around his neck. Seeing that there was really nothing under his feet, he immediately shouted excitedly, and a pair of wings spread out and fluttered on the spot. Yun Yongzhu used his spiritual power to raise a shield to block the strong wind raised by Zhao Lei. Zhao Lei, you must remember not to attack anyone on the mountain. Okay, go wherever you want. After explaining it to Zhao Lei again and again, Yun Yongzhu sent it away. With its intelligence and strength, no one or beast on the mountain could hurt it. Although it was almost the hour of review, he did not go to the practice room to practice as usual, but walked towards the alchemy room. Yun Yongzhu not only closed the door tightly, but also set up a ban to prevent others from disturbing him, because he wanted to refine the soul nourishing pill. But there was only one batch of the material, so of course he had to be careful. Yun Yongzhu was a little excited because the soul nourishing pill could finally be started. He silently recited the meditation sutra before he took action. He reached for his storage bag and took out the soul nourishing grass he had just traded for today, and then took out the auxiliary medicines he had obtained over the years, such as the 100-year-old scrofularia, 100-year-old ganoderma, forget-me-not, heavenly fragrance branch, and ice heart fruit. Among these auxiliary medicines, there are more than a dozen spiritual medicines that are relatively rare, some because of their high age, and some because they are rare in the commonly used elixir recipes. But compared to the main medicine, the soul nourishing grass, they are much easier to find. Almost without thinking, he skillfully processed a total of 286 spiritual medicines according to the requirements of the recipe. The recipe for the soul nourishing pill has been in Yun Yongzhu's hands for 18 years, and nearly 19 years. Yun Yongzhu has already figured it out thoroughly, and he himself can't count how many times he has practiced it in his mind. Therefore, as soon as the soul nourishing grass came into his hands, he started refining it in the furnace, and there was no pause or hesitation in the movement of processing the spiritual medicine materials, as if this was not his first time to refine the soul nourishing pill. About half an hour later, Yun Yongzhu finally prepared all the spiritual medicine materials and placed them on the alchemy table. He took out the purple gold alchemy furnace to preheat it, put in the main medicine and auxiliary medicines, and used the 9 turns alchemy art to melt each spiritual medicine with his true fire to refine the essence. Time passed bit by bit, and Yun Yongzhu's whole mind was in the liquid medicine in the alchemy furnace, and he didn't realize how much time had passed. He only knew that he had taken 4 high-grade key recovering pills twice in a row, and just when Yun Yongzhu's spiritual power was consumed by about 80%, the furnace of soul nourishing pill liquid was finally refined. Yun Yongzhu sensitively felt that the purity of the liquid medicine had reached its limit, so he changed his gestures and changed the seal of refining the liquid medicine to the seal of integrating the medicinal properties. Under the effect of the 9 turns melting alchemy art, the medicinal properties were perfectly integrated, and a burst of intoxicating fragrance that made Yun Yongzhu intoxicated entered his nose. He suddenly shuddered and woke up. Almost like a conditioned reflex, he instantly pinched out a 9 turns condensing alchemy art and hit it into the purple gold furnace. Yun Yongzhu was scared. He didn't expect that the medicinal properties of the soul nourishing pill would emit the fragrance of the pill after the fusion. It took him less than half a breath to recover his mind and stop distracting himself. He took the opportunity to pinch a 9-turn pill collection art. Although he was very confident in refining the soul nourishing pill, it was his first time after all, and the materials were very precious and rare, so he never thought about refining the 2nd turn soul nourishing pill or the 3rd turn soul nourishing pill from beginning to end. Yun Yongzhu put the seal into the purple gold furnace only after his divine sense found that the pills in the furnace were formed. Seeing the 6 pills rotating and flying smoothly into the jade bottle, Yun Yongzhu relaxed a little. When he saw that there were 5 pills in the jade bottle intact, He relaxed his tense nerves. The fragrance of the pill was extremely addictive. Yun Yongzhu realized at this time that his soul had grown a little bit. It was really a magical elixir that could nourish the primordial spirit. Just the fragrance of the pill had such a magical effect. In order to avoid the loss of the medicinal properties of the pill, he was not in a hurry to pour out the pill to distinguish the quality. Suppressing his desire, Yun Yongzhu first put it into the storage bag. Then he began to slowly clean up the messy alchemy table, but in his heart he was secretly thinking about the refining process of the soul-nourishing pill. During this refining, except for the moment when he was intoxicated by the medicinal fragrance of the liquid medicine when performing the melting pill technique, the whole process was impeccable. But it was precisely because of this small mistake that the success rate of the soul-nourishing pill this time was only more than 40%, less than 50%. Before refining the soul-nourishing pill, although Yun Yongzhu was excited, he was actually 90% sure that he could refine the pill, and he was confident that he could refine 7 or 8 soul-nourishing pills. However, although only 5 pills were successful, Yun Yongzhu did not have too much negative emotions in his heart. When refining the pill, the spiritual medicine liquid is infinitely changing. This is his first time to open the furnace. Although he is 90% sure, it is hard to guarantee that the remaining 10% of accidents will cause the pill to fail. The 5 soul-nourishing pills were saved thanks to Yun Yongzhu's enlightenment experience. In addition, his years of experience in alchemy have greatly improved Yun Yongzhu's alchemy skills. He was actually more grateful and happy. After more than half an hour, Yun Yongzhu recalled the entire process of refining the soul-nourishing pill. He had just cleaned up the alchemy room, so he took out his Yongzhu memorandum and began to write down the precautions for refining the soul-nourishing pill. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 298, Soul Rising. Yun Yongzhu recorded his experience in refining the elixir this time, put away the Yongzhu memorandum, and went directly to the practice room. Sitting cross-legged on the soul-gathering cushion above the soul-gathering array, he took out the jade bottle of elixir with some expectation, poured it out, and checked it one by one. The result of the inspection was very gratifying. There were 5 elixirs, 1 top-grade soul-nourishing elixir, 2 mid-grade soul-nourishing elixir, and the remaining 2 were naturally low-grade soul-nourishing elixir. You know, at present, the highest success rate of his soul-gathering elixir is only more than 10%, less than 20%, that is, 1 to 3 elixir, and the success rate of the top-grade soul-gathering elixir is even lower. The success rate of the wood flame elixir is not much different from that of the soul gathering elixir, and it is also very low. A set of soul nourishing elixir materials, a full elixir has 12 elixir. Yun Yongzhu was able to produce 5 elixir the first time he opened the furnace. This result is already very good. Yun Yongzhu looked at these 5 elixir eagerly. It is said that the effect of the soul nourishing elixir is magical, and I don't know how effective this elixir is. He kept 1 top-grade soul-nourishing pill, and carefully put away the other 4. Yun Yongzhu stuffed the top-grade soul-nourishing pill into his mouth. The pill melted in his mouth, and a powerful force instantly poured directly from his lower dantian into his sea of consciousness. Yun Yongzhu only felt a coolness in his brain, and a strong sense of pleasure came over him. In fact, although it was very refreshing to practice the skills or the soul-devouring golden cicada, to give him the power of the soul, it was far less than what he felt at this moment. Yun Yongzhu was like a thirsty traveler in the desert, jumping into a clear spring, feeling ecstatic. He thought to himself that this feeling should be more comfortable than having sex with his lover, and the feeling of taking drugs was no more than this. While Yun Yongzhu was daydreaming, he did not forget to practice the first level of the immortal god technique. This skill is originally a skill for cultivating the soul, and the soul-nourishing pill entered his stomach, which was a good time to practice. Sure enough, as Yun Yongzhu's technique was running, the power emerging from his lower abdomen became more and more majestic, and he felt that his soul was growing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Yun Yongzhu was immersed in the pleasant feeling of this power constantly pouring into his soul, until the power of this top-grade soul-nourishing pill was completely refined and absorbed by him, and the speed of the technique became slow, and he gradually woke up from the state of cultivation. As soon as Yun Yongzhu woke up, he was surprised to find that his soul had changed a lot. He closed his eyes and sank into his ancestral acupoint between his eyebrows, and his mind sank into the sea of consciousness. In an instant, he realized that the scope of this space had become much larger. Yun Yongzhu estimated that this space was more than 190 square meters, nearly 200 feet wide. Doesn't this mean that his spiritual awareness range is also so large? The spiritual awareness range of cultivators in the early stage of foundation building is generally about 50 feet in radius. The spiritual awareness range of cultivators in the middle stage of foundation building is about 150 feet in radius, and the spiritual awareness range of cultivators in the late stage of foundation building is at least 500 feet in radius. Yun Yongzhu's spiritual awareness range is wider than that of the cultivators of the same level. In this way, although he is only at the initial stage of foundation building, his spiritual strength is already the same as that of the cultivators of the middle stage of foundation building. He was overjoyed. He did not expect that the effect of a top-grade soul-nourishing pill would be so powerful that it directly raised his spiritual power to a higher level. Yun Yongzhu looked at the huge symbol of unknown origin in the sea of consciousness, and his heart moved. Now that his spiritual power has increased greatly, he wondered if he could read the information in this mysterious symbol. He suddenly remembered the feeling that his head was about to be squeezed and exploded when he touched this symbol before, and he could not help but retreat again. To be on the safe side, he should wait until he advances to the Golden Core Elm before exploring this symbol. Yun Yongzhu made up his mind, looked at the crystal of the sea of consciousness that had not changed, and then withdrew from the sea of consciousness. He opened his eyes. His eyes were still full of joy. His spiritual power increased greatly, and he was one step closer to refining the soul-protecting handkerchief. Yuhanpa is the name Yun Yongzhu gave to the mysterious white handkerchief himself. He named it based on the known characteristics of the handkerchief. Chapter 299 Yundaiji News. Yun Yongzhu came out of the practice room happily, and Yun Yongbei happened to come to the bamboo garden villa to check. Brother, you finally came out. Many cultivators came to Yunwu Mountain to visit you, but they were stopped by the two great-grandfathers. Oh. Who are they? Yun Yongzhu also had some guesses in his mind. Since the two great-grandfathers had come out, they should be cultivators in the foundation building stage. Could it be that they were here to ask for pills? Yun Yongbei took out a stack of exquisite cards and handed them to him. Brother, look, these are all visiting cards from those who have built their foundations. They all came to ask for pills, but except for the great elder of Wuiao Valley who was left at the reception desk at the foot of the mountain, the others were decided by the two great-grandfathers and sent away with the middle and lower grade gelling pills you had refined before. This great elder of Wuiao Valley is really patient. During the past 6 days, he would ask the two great-grandfathers every day whether you had come out of retreat. Yun Yongzhu flipped through the visiting cards in his hand. There were actually 8 cards in total. It seemed that they all got the news from the auction, or they were cultivators who did not get the pills at the auction. It turned out that 6 days had passed since he returned from the main city. Yun Yongzhu thought to himself that as expected, Liu Jiangheng decided to ask him to refine the soul gathering pill, and 100 soul gathering grasses would be in his hands. Okay, I got it. Go ahead and do your work. I'll go meet him right away. After 6 days, the Liu family's great elder should be getting impatient, and he couldn't always delay the two great-grandfathers. After saying that, Yun Yongzhu went out directly and headed towards the welcoming platform at the foot of the mountain. Not long after, he arrived at the place. Liu Jiangheng was not an ordinary foundation building cultivator. As the great elder of Wuiao Valley, he should be arranged to stay in Yuxiu Pavilion. After asking the attendants at the welcoming platform, it turned out to be Yuxiu Pavilion. Yun Yongzhu walked through the winding corridors and saw his two great-grandfathers and Liu Jiangheng chatting and laughing in the garden from a distance. Several people had their backs to Yun Yongzhu and did not notice his approach. My two fellow Daoists, Our two families are now married, and our relationship is different from before. Please tell me the truth. Is your Xiaojiu really in seclusion, or is he angry with me? Fellow Daoist Liu, you are too polite. Yun Zuxin was interrupted by Yun Yongzhu before he finished speaking. Grandpa Liu, I'm really sorry. As you know, I recently got a soul-nourishing grass at the trade fair. This time, I was so eager to go to Yunwu Mountain that I went to the alchemy room to make pills. I just came out. I'm sorry to have kept you waiting for a long time. Xiaojiu, you are out of seclusion. Hearing Yun Yongzhu's voice, the three of them turned around, all with a look of surprise. Nephew Yun, it's good that you're out of retreat. I thought you weren't going to take our Wuya Valley order. How could that be? Just like you said, our two families are now relatives. As long as you are willing to give the spiritual medicine to my nephew, I will definitely offer it to you. That's good. I've brought the gathering spirit grass. Please check it. Then Liu Jiangheng took out the jade box eagerly, as if he was afraid that Yun Yongzhu would go back on his word. Yun Yongzhu carefully opened the jade box and checked it one by one. The years of these spiritual medicines were all sufficient, and not only were there 100 gathering spirit grasses, but there were also 100 more expensive auxiliary medicines needed to refine the gathering spirit pill. He was very satisfied, and this saved him more than 200 spirit stones. Although it was not much, he liked this attitude. The other party was so sincere, Yun Yongzhu had to show something. Grandpa Liu, these spiritual medicines are old enough, and the quality of other auxiliary medicines is also very good. Don't worry, I will use them to refine the soul gathering pill for you. In this way, I will give you another medium grade soul gathering pill, a total of 31 pills. Liu Jiangheng was overjoyed. He prepared these high-year auxiliary medicines to improve his favorability with Yun Yongzhu. Unexpectedly, he got an extra medium grade soul gathering pill by accident. Thank you very much, haha. Then please go back to Wuya Valley first, and Yunwu Mountain will arrange someone to send the pills after they are refined. 31 soul gathering pills are not a small number. Even if he opens the furnace every day, it will take a month, not to mention that not every time he opens the furnace, he can successfully produce pills. Moreover, he really can't spare any free time recently. 6 days have passed, and he has not started to study the recipe of the Fuan pill. Although he is confident that he can understand the recipe within a month, he can't continue to delay refining the soul gathering pill. This, Liu Jiangheng was worried. These were 31 soul gathering pills. What if something unexpected happened? He wanted to continue waiting in Yunwu Mountain, but he couldn't speak up. Brother Liu, don't worry. I will escort Xiaojiu's pills to Wuya Valley after they are refined. Hearing Yun Zuxin say this, Liu Jiangheng felt relieved and had nothing to say. Then I'll trouble you, Brother Yun. I'll take my leave now. I've been bothering you for a long time. After the three of them personally sent Liu Jiangheng out of Yunwu Mountain, they talked about other things. Xiaojiu, are your things ready? What? Yun Yongzhu didn't react for a moment. What did the 9th great-grandfather ask? Ancient cultivator's cave. With the reminder of the 25th great-grandfather, Yun Yongzhu understood instantly and became excited again. It should be complete. Could it be that there is news from the 14th uncle? Yun Zuxin and the others smiled and nodded. On the 4th day, after we came back from the main city, we received news from 14. He had already captured the Khan family's girl, and then went to Blackstone Mountain to meet his father-in-law. 14's parents returned to the mountain in the past 2 days, and they were already preparing the betrothal gifts. We can set out to Blackstone Mountain to propose marriage after he returns. I guess 14 should be back in the next few days. Yun Yongzhu turned around happily for a few times. He would soon know the whereabouts of the ancient cave mansion. He wondered if there would be alchemy inheritance in it. The contract between cultivators is equivalent to the marriage of mortals, but the rules are not as complicated as those of mortals. There is no such thing as accepting the bride price, asking for the name, accepting the good news, accepting the betrothal, and asking for the date. Cultivators who are not too particular usually sign the contract and are done with it, but family cultivators naturally cannot be so careless, especially cultivators from foundation building families like Yunwu Mountain. Yun Yongzhu has never made a contract before and is not very clear about what to do before making a contract. How many people should go when the engagement is made? If there are too many people, will the Khan family get suspicious? Don't worry. The more people go, the more face Black Rock Mountain will have. If all 5 foundation building cultivators from Yunwu Mountain go, we will definitely be able to control the entire Black Rock Mountain. I don't know how to deal with that ancient cultivation formation. Xiaojiu, what do you think this is? Seeing Yun Yongzhu's worried look, Yun Zuxin and the other man smiled at each other and took out 2 round beads with dim spiritual light. It looks like Lei Zenzi. Can this break the formation? Chapter 300 Zenqian Pearl. Lei Zenzi is a kind of thunder bead, made of materials with thunder and fire properties. It is used similarly to a talisman. It is activated by spiritual power and thrown at the opponent to cause an explosion. It is a one-time group attack magic weapon. The power of this Lei Zenzi is huge. It cannot be refined by non-Jindan cultivators, so it is very precious. It is very rare in the world of immortal cultivation. Most cultivators use it as a killer. Xiaojiu, you guessed wrong. Although this magic weapon is also a one-time magic weapon, it is many times more precious than Lei Zenzi. Yun Yongzhu barely thought about it and said another magic weapon name. 25th great grandfather. Could this be the Zengan Pearl? Why can't it be the Zengan Pearl? Our Yunwu Mountain ancestor came from the Qingshan sect after all. Yun Zuxin looked a little proud and was very proud of his family's ancestors. Xiaojiu, this is the Zengan Pearl. Yun Zuxin carefully put the 2 beads back into the storage bag. Yun Yongzhu was full of amazement. He didn't expect that Yunwu Mountain actually had such a treasure, and there were 2 of them. The value of Zenqian Pearl is not comparable to Lei Zenzi. Although they are both disposable magic weapons, their functions are different. Lei Zenzi is mainly used against the enemy. It is a life-saving killer for cultivators and an attack magic weapon for large-scale wars. And this Zenqian Pearl is a weapon specifically used to break the formation. After using Zenqian Pearl, it can vibrate the earth veins and destroy the formation base, so that cultivators can easily break the formation. There are 2 ways to break the formation, nothing more than outsmarting and forcing. The so-called outsmarting is to test the flaws in the formation, find the weak nodes in the formation, and then destroy them one by one, so that the formation will naturally break down. The so-called forcing is to break it by force, using brute force, and continuously attacking the formation. As long as the energy supply of the formation is insufficient, the formation can be forcibly broken. Almost all cultivators use the method of brute force to crack the formation, because only as a formation master, with rich knowledge of formations, can they see the flaws and weak points in the formation. But there are too few formation masters. But even if it is a brute force to crack the formation, it is not a simple matter, because most of the formations are arranged on the spiritual veins, and there is no shortage of spiritual power. In addition, there is a gathering spirit formation as an auxiliary formation, which makes it even more difficult to crack by force. This Zenqian Pearl is a great killer of the formation. With this magic weapon, it will definitely help us explore the ancient cave dwellings. I just don't know what grade this Zenqian Pearl is. In fact, Yun Yongzhu thought about whether it might be the Zenqian Pearl at the beginning, but this kind of magic weapon is very precious, so he didn't dare to say it. Zenqian Pearl can not only be refined by Jindan cultivators or above, but also the materials for refining are very precious. Generally only big forces can have it. Both Zengan beads are of the 3rd grade lower grade. Even if it is a 3rd grade upper grade formation, there is a chance to break it. 3rd grade lower grade. Is this true? Yun Yongzhu exclaimed, almost unable to believe it. These are 3rd grade magic weapons, 2 of them. Of course it is true. Even though our Yunwu Mountain clan has been established for less than 300 years and is at the bottom of the 5 major families in the Yunzhou realm, we still have some foundation. Yun Yongzhu was overjoyed when he heard Yun Zuxin's words. As long as the formation set up in this ancient cave is not more than 3rd grade upper grade, they will have the ability to explore it. Could this be left by ancestor Yun Yi? Apart from this ancestor, who was extremely talented and had entered the Qingshan sect, he really couldn't think of anyone else in the family who could leave such a foundation. Yes, more than 200 years have passed, and these 2 Zengen beads can finally come in handy. I just hope that these Zengen beads will not be wasted in vain. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.